Radio check, loud and clear, loud and clear. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Apologies for being a couple of minutes late. Well, I think just 1 minute late, but regardless, thanks everyone for coming along. And we are about to get underway for the Grand Prix here in Silverstone. We're 45 minutes away from lights out currently. All of the drivers are still in the garage. They're going to do their reconnaissance laps, and then once those laps are done, we'll be getting on our way for some laps of for some racing. Okay, yeah, so we've got a lot of things to run through before we get going for the start of this race, and, yeah, we shall get underway very, very soon. So, as here from yesterday, thanks everyone for tuning in. We've already got 3,000 people tuned into the live stream, which is kind of mind-blowing considering that I've just started, so very much is appreciated everyone for coming along, and I hope you guys do enjoy your time this weekend. Okay, so... let's see, what have we got to talk about? A couple of key things here. Firstly is that Max Verstappen, what a pole lap yesterday. I've just got to say, simply lovely. Really, really good from him. However, it has been raining, ladies and gentlemen. It has been raining. Currently, as of now, it is not wet. It is not raining. It is still wet. So as of this current moment, the circuit, there's no more raindrops that are actually falling. It is just... the circuit itself is wet, and yeah, we'll be looking to see how that affects the drivers, how that affects the cars, but it should be pretty standard to how it normally works, to be honest. So we'll have to, I'll run through what a wet setup looks like, what different racing lines that the drivers will be taking, and things like that, and then yeah, okay. So, a couple of things. If we were to be doing a one-stop, or if you were to be doing a dry race, it would be between a one-stop and a two-stop. The one-stop being starting the race on the mediums, then going on to the hards, and the two-stop would be medium, hard, hard. And yeah, that's pretty standard for what we normally see around Silverstone here. And we have gone a step softer this year on the Pirelli compounds, which is going to help out, obviously, in well, the tyre wear department and things like that. And yeah, should be good in that regard. Okay, the rain has eased up, but there's loud thunders. Exactly, that's probably the best way to describe it. There are huge thunderstorms off in the distance. And, we've got the first drivers making their way out of the pit lane there. Kimi Antonelli, I think that is. Yeah, Kimi Antonelli and a couple of Williams, all lining up now at the end of the pit lane, getting ready to go qualifying. Yeah, okay, so we'll wait and see what happens. But right now, the forecast says it's dry, and later in the day, there's still potential for more rain. And yeah, the circuit, though, it's totally soaked. It's totally drenched. The drivers are going out on intermediate tyres to just to be safe here when they drive around the circuit. It may be that they could start the race on soft tyres, but it's going to be they start the race on... oh no, is there a big old thunderstorm? The rain has just started pouring down, ladies and gentlemen. The rain has just started pouring, and... well... good news. We are going to have another wet race. The rain has just begun, and all of the fans are getting their umbrellas out. They're putting their hoods up, getting their jackets on, and the UK weather is washed, shall we say? It's washed because it's just got so much water, and you love to see it, really. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's just good news for us, really. Good news, more chance of rain, cannot wait, and it's going to be absolutely mega. Let me get all of this lined up. It moved when I wasn't paying attention earlier in the day, and then now I need to get it back into the correct position. Okay. This should be okay. All right, so let me take you through a wet lap of the circuit, ladies and gents. So I've taken you through a dry lap earlier in the weekend, but now let's go through a wet lap of the circuit. I'm going to be honest, it was pretty difficult to put a wet lap together. It was very, very tricky to drive. In fact, for your guys' benefit and enjoyment, what I did was I turned off traction control. To be fair, I never drive with traction control anyway, but I did turn off ABS, and normally I do drive with ABS when I'm playing the Formula 1 games, and it just made it that extra little bit harder. So I'll take you through a lap here. This is probably me attempting a lap and then spinning out horrifically, but yeah, I was coming down the Wellington straight here, and the drivers actually aren't going to be taking the actual racing line. Well, yeah, see, I just go straight off because I missed the braking point, and then now going into Luffield, I'm trying to take a wide line, because on the inside line where you see the racing line on the game, that part of the circuit is super duper slippery, because that's where all the rubber is deposited. That's where all of the all of the dust and the dirt is, and all of the rubber basically makes the circuit very, very slippery at that part of the circuit. So in the wet conditions, you're best to actually avoid that. Eclipse Edits, thanks for the donation, very much is appreciated, buddy. So you continue on here, you avoid the racing line, you get onto the power, and if you, well, yeah, you see, that's what happens. If you get onto the power, when you're crossing the racing line from the slick position, so from the non sort of grippy part of the circuit, or from the grippy part to the non-grippy part, or the slippy part. So at this point on the corner, I'm on the grippy part of the circuit. I'm on the part where there isn't any rubber deposited, and then I cut across the racing line, and as my rear wheels cross the racing line, I spin. There's also a puddle on the road, which makes it a lot easier to spin. So there are a couple of things to watch out. Silverstone has only got 17 meters of elevation change between the highest and lowest point, which means it's a very, very flat circuit, and the water doesn't seem to, move off to one side of the track. It doesn't go off to the left side or the right side or down the hill, up the hill. Well, obviously it doesn't go up the hill. It obviously just goes down the hill. But the thing is that because it's flat, the water quite often builds up in pools. It builds up in little rivers, little divots and holes in the circuit, not holes, but slight undulations, and it can make these puddles happen essentially, and it is very, very tricky to deal with. But you reset the lap, you continue on, and loads of wheel spin. We'll be seeing drivers starting the race in potentially second gear, third gear, because of the huge amount of wheel spin. The rain has just started pouring, ladies and gents, and oh my goodness me, I cannot wait. Right, let me just put in the title heavy rain, because yeah, it is super duper heavy. The drivers coming out on full wet tyres as well, full wets, because the Inters just weren't going to cut it, to be honest. And yeah, so you make your way through Maggots and Beckett's. I apologies for not commentating through that, but Maggots and Beckett's is the most precarious thing in wet conditions. You totally just come off the throttle. You're just coasting through Maggots and Beckett's here. You don't want to unsettle the car in any which way. And Maggots and Beckett's, you kind of just have to take the normal racing line. It's a little bit slippery, but there's no alternative, which is also quick. Yeah, they've all just pitted in now for wet tyres. They're all driving around doing some reconnaissance. All of the drivers now, they'll be exploring which part of the circuit are grippy, which parts isn't, which curbs are grippy, which curbs will just make you instantly spin. So there's a lot of research that the drivers are doing, and they'll be looking back to 2024. They're looking at the onboards. Oh, which part of the track was slippery last year, which part of the track was dirty, and things like that. And the engineers will be poring over all of the onboards from last year to try and figure out what is the optimal racing line to take and let their drivers know. Here again, going through Stowe, you can drift out wide. This is the grippier part of the circuit in wet conditions, and then at some point you do have to cut across the original racing line, but you try and do that as quickly as possible. Again, braking for Vale, very easy to lock up going into Vale, because it's a big long braking zone, and yeah, the wet tyres and the Inters just can't take it sometimes. Then you cut across, you just minimize your distance across the line. But that is a lap of Silverstone in the wet, and in fact I've got another one as well for you. Yeah, this one's a little bit better. I've recorded 2 laps on this occasion. As you can see here, I'm going through the final 2 corners. You got absolute buckets of wheel spin. The other thing, the wind here has died down. It's actually very, very helpful, because the wet plus the wind would have been horrific for the drivers. The wind's died down. Now they've just got to deal with the wet conditions. But you make your way through the first 2 corners. It is super duper slippery. Brake off the racing line, cut across the racing line, and then take the outside line again. Then you got, well, wheel spin is so easy to get through this next part of the corner. And then again, you cut across the, well, actually this point, you kind of just have to take the normal racing line, because otherwise you're not going to be that quick. And Then you go towards Brooklyn. Brooklyn again breaking off in the centre of the line, going wide. This part's a lot more grippy. Same thing for Luffield. This is the key thing. I've said it about 4 or 5 times now, but you cannot take the normal racing line here because, oh my god, I'm just Tokyo drifting through this corner. And yeah, you can't take the normal racing line because it will just result in you spinning out and losing a bunch of grip. Then you go through Copse. You have to lift for Copse, obviously, in wet conditions. There's no way you can take that flat. Maggots and Beckett's, again, you're just totally off the throttle, coasting it through, hoping the car doesn't spin out under you. And you don't really want to be touching these curbs as well. These curbs are pretty violent in wet conditions. And yeah, it's a tough one to manage, really. Is it raining now? It is raining right now, ladies and gentlemen. It was raining super duper hard. All of the fans, all of the British fans, typically here in the UK, people just walk in the rain, even without a hood. It doesn't really matter that much to us. But everyone at Silverstone, they've got the umbrellas, they've got their jackets, their hats. Everything is out because it is pouring it down. And yeah, it is super duper tricky, and we're seeing so many reconnaissance laps from the drivers as well. Typically we don't see this many reconnaissance laps, but all of the drivers going out to gain as much knowledge as they possibly can, because this is going to be one tough race. It is half the drivers are on full wets, half the drivers are on inters, so yeah, we shall see. Yeah, we could have the British drivers win. They of course have a very experienced to drive in wet conditions because that's what they did for the majority of their junior career. And we could also have Max Verstappen. We know how good he is in wet conditions, but the one thing he has against him is that the setup that he's got in his car is a low downforce setup. Typically in a sort of in wet conditions, you want the highest downforce setup you can get your hands on. But Max Verstappen yesterday took a low downforce setup as a bit of a gamble, and it paid off for him. He got pole position, obviously, but then what happened was he ended up, yeah, he might be a little bit compromised today. Andrew Spooner, how do you use Surfshark to watch the race? So what you do is you download Surfshark VPN onto your computer, on your phone, whatever you're watching on. And then once you do that is you join an Austrian VPN server using... just join an Austrian VPN server. Go onto Google, search Service TV, and then that's it. Then you can watch Formula One with Surfshark VPN. So Service TV is the link, and if Service TV doesn't work, you can join a Swiss server and search SRF. Yeah, but if any of you guys are interested in watching Formula One for only $2 a month, that's how it works. You get Surfshark VPN, and then you join an Austrian VPN server, go onto Service TV, and enjoy the Formula One coverage. And I recommend, folks, this is a race to watch. If you've been thinking about getting Surfshark VPN past couple of weeks, this weekend might be the one to do it. We've still got 30 minutes to start the race, so you can get everything sorted, because this one is going to be absolutely mega. All right. The drivers are on track. They're going towards the grid. As you can see, most of the drivers now, they're parked up on the grid slot. Russell, Piastri, Leclerc, Albon, they're all heading to the grid now. They're going to park their cars up there, and then the national anthem ceremony and all of that stuff is going to happen, and then we're going to go racing. Okay, we've got 6,500 people tuned into the live stream. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Farachi, thank you for joining the channel member. Very much is appreciated. And, yeah. Okay. So here we go then. Let me change the like target. The like target should be 8,000 for this, for a race stream. Okay, 52 laps of racing here. I don't think we'll start behind the safety car, to be honest. It's still suitable, I think, to start in wet conditions, to have a normal grid start. And, yeah. Everyone, F1 Gamers, Surfshark recommendations, fantastic. It works 100%. Oh, well, thank you, Chris. Thanks, Chris, for being sort of vouching for me. Yeah. All right, then. What tyres is everyone on? Half the drivers on inters, half the drivers are on wets. We'll get the full tyre information coming through 10 minutes before the start of the race. That's when the tyre info comes through. But Colapinto starting from the pit lane, ladies and gents, because he just wants a wet setup. It makes sense. Actually, he might be coming out this pits. I'm not sure. Oh, no. Colapinto is starting from the pit lane, and he will be taking a wet setup as a sort of a little bit of an advantage to sort of help him out during the race. All of the other drivers will be on a dry setup, and there's a very big difference in wet setup and dry setup here in Silverstone. So Colapinto should be at an advantage. Mark Brewer, thanks for the donation. Very much is appreciated. So the drivers lose 20 seconds of time here in the pits. 20 seconds of time is lost in the pit lane. When they come in green flag conditions, they lose 9 seconds under virtual safety car or safety car conditions. And also, in the last 11 British Grand Prix, there has been 8 occasions, or 8 in the last, there's been 8 Grand Prix out of the last 11 where the safety car has come out. Safety car is, there's a very, very high chance we'll get a safety car this weekend, and it's going to be some great chaos, to say the least. It's plan C for chaos, if I'm going to be totally honest with you folks. Is the track still wet? Indeed it is. We've got drivers out on inters. In fact, I might just pop that up on the screen. I'll get rid of the stray strategy because that doesn't matter. Wet conditions. Still raining. That should work. All right. Yeah, folks. Who do you think is going to be doing the best in the wet conditions? Is it going to be Max Verstappen? Is it going to be Lando Norris in the wet? Of course, he's very good in wet conditions. George Russell as well, pretty good. So is Lewis Hamilton. All of the British drivers really have a lot of experience in wet conditions. Is it going to be Fernando Alonso? Are we going to get a surprise podium from the old maestro? Or are we going to see one of the younger rookies? Is Kimi Antonelli going to put in a brilliant performance? You've got to remember back to Australia. He was the only rookie not to DNF in Australia. Oh, I think... Yeah, no, that's correct, actually. Kimi Antonelli was the only rookie in wet conditions, first race of the season, first race of all of these drivers in a Formula 1 car, and Antonelli was the only one not to DNF. So I've got to say, things are looking good for Antonelli. Okay. My predictions for the top 5 considering the rain. Oh, okay, this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to just give who I think is going to be in the top 5. I'm not going to say necessarily what order, but I'm going to go with Verstappen, Alonso, Hamilton, I think Piastri, and I think, well, I don't know, is it going to be Leclerc, Norris, or Russell? I don't know. Who is going to make it through into the top 5? I think it's going to be Norris. Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough to say, really. 6 drivers in it for a potential win here. Verstappen, well, the top 6, any one of the 6 could win it. And another stat that I'd like to mention here, ladies and gentlemen, Lewis Hamilton has won the Silverstone Grand Prix 9 times, and out of those times, he's only won it 2 times starting outside of the top 3. Every other time he's won, he started within the top 3. The 2 times that he didn't start in the top 3 and still ended up winning at Silverstone, it was the 6th of July. What date is it today? It is the 6th of July. So maybe we're going to see Lewis Hamilton continue on that streak of winning from outside the top 3 in Silverstone on the 6th of July. A very, very specific statistic, but, that just makes it all the more unlikely. It helps with the Ferrari delusion. So, we could have a July 6th dominance from Lewis Hamilton. We could get a Max Verstappen masterclass, or a Maxterclass, if you want to put it that way. I guess we shall see. Yeah, Delulu for Lulu. That sums that strategy, that statistic up perfectly. Yeah, folks, this double yellow, single yellow, they're just testing out all the systems because, let's be honest, they're going to be used in today's race. We're definitely going to have yellow flags, definitely going to have red flags, and they're all going to be used. So, or maybe not the red flags, but the yellow flags, they all need to be tested out before the start of the race. Okay, all right, then, we have got 52 laps of racing around here in Silverstone, and we're going to be doing 305 kilometers of racing in these wet conditions. It looks like the rain is going to continue on for the entire race. Last year out, of course, we started the race on the soft tyres and then or the medium tyres, and then went on to the inters later on. But this race, it looks like we're going to be starting on the inters. Another thing that I would like to let you guys know is that when we do have the onboard, I'll show you here. I've got quite a bit of oversteer driving through this lap, but the drivers on the left-hand side of the grid here, on the left-hand side of the grid, are on pole position. So Verstappen's going to be starting on the left, Piastri on the right. However, the left-hand side of the grid is more slippery this weekend. You know, normally it's the ideal racing line, it's the clean part of the circuit, but this weekend, because the rain is falling, it's the opposite. And what we're going to see is the drivers on the left-hand side are going to have a little bit less grip than the drivers on the right. So anyone with an odd number, so Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton, any of those drivers are going to have slightly less grip off the line compared to anyone with an even number, for example, Piastri, Russell, Leclerc. And that's going to be interesting to see how that works off the line. It's going to be super duper tricky though for all of them. We're going to see definitely some drivers start the race in second gear just to reduce the amount of wheel spin that they get. And yeah, it's a tricky one. Another thing here, that your launch is actually really, really important, because Silverstone is one of the longest runs into your first braking zone. So from the from the starting grid all the way to the braking zone of turn number 3, farm corner. Let me just show you. This corner right here, the drivers have to go from here all the way through these corners. They don't press the brakes through turn 1 and 2, even in wet conditions. At least on the very start, they don't. And then going through here, this is the big braking zone. And in fact, the only circuit that has got a longer run to turn number 1 and the big braking zone is Mexico. And if you guys remember Mexico, it's a huge run. Right from the start of the straight, 1.2 kilometers or so before you hit the brakes. Here in Silverstone, it's more like 850 meters. But regardless, 850 meters, the traction off the line is going to be super duper critical. And well, we'll see who can get the best traction. Okay. It is currently still raining, ladies and gentlemen. It is still raining. DRS will probably be disabled for the majority of the race, because, well, it's wet conditions and we can't have DRS open in the wets. But yeah. F1 Gamer, can you put the cardinal directions to say which directions the wind is blowing? Oh yeah, I'll just show you quickly. Northeast direction is blowing from this side in towards here. So it's blowing from Copse towards Abbey. This is the direction of the wind. So the drivers are going to have a headwind going through turn number 1. That should help with a lock-up situation and stuff like that. Yeah. It's going to be a tough one though. So the wind's blowing in this direction. I think I'll do that for the next stream actually. It's a pretty good suggestion. I will get that sorted to have the directions of the north, south, east, west so you guys can tell which direction the wind is coming from. All right. Oh, I guess it's sort of oriented north, isn't it? Yeah, I guess the track is already oriented north. So yeah, the track upwards is north, and that's correct. Okay. Yeah. All right. We've got 20 minutes now till the start of the race, ladies and gentlemen. And very, very exciting. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you for one thing, we are going to have chaos. F1 Gamer, can you explain the Surfshark again? Okay, to get Surfshark VPN, what you've got to do is let me just get rid of this onboard lap. Okay, you get Surfshark VPN. You pay your whatever it is, $2 a month. Then you download it onto your computer. You join an Austrian VPN server. Then you go onto Google. You search Servers TV, and once you've done that, you make an account. You log in, and then you can watch the Formula One. It's as simple as that, really. So go ahead and go ahead and do that, and you'll be able to watch Formula One for only $2 a month. Servers TV is free. The only thing you have to pay for is Surfshark VPN. Yeah. It does work. We've got around 300 or so people using it, 300, 400 people using it on the channel right now. And the commentary's in German, so obviously if you don't understand German, you mute that coverage, but you can still watch the cars go around, and then you just listen to me commentate instead. And it still is pretty good. Okay, Surfshark users use if you join a Swiss server, then search SRF F1. It's more stable and there's less buffering. So go ahead and check that out. But anyway, if you're in the UK, you can watch it on Channel 4 for free. Just thought I'd let you guys know. Obviously, if you're in the UK, then you probably do know about that already. But Yeah, here we go, ladies and gents. Um, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I can tell you one thing: we're going to have chaos. I'm going to run through a lot more statistics as we get closer to the start of this Grand Prix. But just to recap here, that we have got Pierre Gasly is up in the top eight, right? Top eight. He qualified in 10th yesterday, but of course, Behrman with a 10-place grid penalty for Behrman, and we have got a 3-place grid penalty for Antonelli. If you guys remember back to the last weekend out in Austria, what happened to Antonelli? He crashed straight into Verstappen, ended up getting a 3-place grid penalty because of that. So, yeah, he's been dropped down from 7th to 10th. Okay. Spray will make overtaking almost impossible. Yeah, I mean, overtaking is always difficult in wet conditions. The spray makes it pretty tough, but the drivers are pretty used to it. You know, all of their junior careers in Formula 2, Formula 3, when they race in wet conditions, there's a bunch of spray. And they have all of their reference points. They know at which point should I be braking, at which point should I be getting onto the power, and all of that stuff. Rain, no problem for Max. Indeed, there is maybe no problem, but I would say that there is a little problem. The fact is that Max Verstappen has got the lowest downforce setup out of anyone on the grid. He was going 9 kilometers per hour quicker down the straights than the McLarens. Both cars were turned up to maximum qualifying engine mode, but still Max had a 9 kilometer per hour difference down the straight, and that's because he's got a lot less downforce. And in wet conditions, what do you need? You need as much downforce as you possibly can. So it's going to be a tough one for Max. It's not going to be an easy win. And the McLarens on the lop side have the most downforce out of anyone. They were the slowest through the speed traps out of all of the top teams. So McLaren have got the most downforce, and it's going to be a game versus most downforce, least downforce, quickest driver, quickest team. Who knows what's it going to be? Yeah, Max was the 18th quickest in the slow speed, which is, well, second to last, third to last, and the first in the top speed. That sums up his setup, doesn't it? Will it rain during the race? It is raining as of this moment right now, ladies and gents. Oh, actually, I think it might have momentarily paused, but regardless, it was pouring it down about 10 minutes ago, so, don't worry too much. The rain is still here, the thunderstorms, the thunderclouds are still hovering around, and we have got a lot of action to look forward to. F1 Gamer, can we get the radio later? Yeah, the radio will come through. It's just that I reset all of the systems between quali and the race, so that's why the radios are all disappeared. Are they going to race, or are they just going to sit in the pits? Well, currently they're sat out on the starting grid, and we definitely will race. The FIA would have delayed the start already if they weren't going to. If they didn't think that we were actually going to race, they would have delayed the start immediately. So we should be good to go. Full wets or inters? It's still a little bit up in the air. I think the teams are going to go for the inters because you've got to consider we've got 20 Formula One cars here, and Formula One cars are the best vacuum cleaners, the best suction devices for getting all of the water off the racetrack. So when they're blasting down the straights, when they're going through the corners, all of the water that's currently stood on the circuit is going to get thrown off to the side, and it's going to go from wet conditions to intermediate conditions very, very quickly. And I think in that situation, it would just be much better off to start the race on the inters. But if you do start the race on the wets, then in the first 3, 4, 5 laps, you're going to have a huge advantage. You're going to make up loads of positions. I think we saw that 2024 Kevin Magnussen, 2024 Kevin Magnussen started in Canada on full wets. Everyone else was on inters. Magnussen, though, full wets, he gained about I think it was 9 positions in 4 laps or 9 positions in 5 laps or something. So if you are on the full wets at the start, you're going to gain a lot of positions. So maybe Nico Hulkenberg, maybe Franco Colapinto, Gabriel Bortoleto, a couple of drivers that don't have that much to lose. Why not just absolutely send it, start the race on the full wets, and maybe gain up a bunch of places? Okay, All right then. The circuit, the weather on one side of the track is slightly cleared up. You can see some blue skies if you look down the Hamilton Straight towards, towards Abbey, towards the circuit, towards like the next corner. But if you look towards Club and Vale from the Hamilton Straight, then you've got a bunch of thunderclouds. So I guess we shall see. The wind is going in all which directions, but it's only 3 kilometers per hour, so it's not too much of a concern for the drivers. Yesterday we had 15, 20 kilometers per hour winds. So today it's died down a lot because the rain has arrived, and we've just got the message from race control. Risk of rain is 60%. It's already raining and the circuit was already wet, but the risk of rain later on into the Grand Prix is 60%. So we'll keep an eye out on the team radios and see, who's saying when is it going to rain, what the weather radars are saying. The yellow flags are just there, folks. They're just testing out all of the systems. It must be, they're talking about puddles or whatever. The marshals are just pressing the buttons. It's not too much to read into. We will be going racing regardless. F1 Gamer, will Ferrari win this race? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I said this a little bit earlier, and we've got a lot more people watching the stream right now. But Hamilton has won the Silverstone Grand Prix 9 times. 2 of those times, or 3 of those times, he's won starting outside of the top 3. And every single... Oh, so he's won 2 times, starting outside of the top 3. And every single time... So both of those times, he won on the 6th of July. And what is the date today? It is the 6th of July, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe it's going to be a Ferrari win. So, get your delusion drinks on, because Ferrari could be winning this one. But equally, it could be Max Verstappen. And we've seen absolute masterclasses from him before, especially when he didn't have the car underneath him, still being able to deliver in wet conditions. So this weekend might be one of those. Maybe Piastri, maybe Norris with a higher downforce setup, that a little bit less tyre wear, a little bit more grip, will be able to get past Max. But whatever it is, it's going to be extremely tough and extremely exciting. Okay, who do you think is going to DNF? I mean, that's a pretty simple question. Lance Stroll, obviously. Yeah, I don't know who else, but it might be some of the rookies, to be honest. Anyone that hits a puddle. I'll take you through a lap of the circuit. Oh, I don't know what Pierre Gasly's radio message is, but whoa is what Gasly's saying over the radio. Yeah. All right. Colapinto starting from the pit lane. Colapinto's putting on a full wet setup. That's why he starts from the pits. And yeah. All right then, so I shall take you through a lap of the circuit in these wet conditions, these tricky wet conditions. As you can see here, very easy to lose the rear of the car as you're going through this corner, go through all of the corners, to be honest. Once you've got traction control turned off, and obviously all of the drivers do have traction control turned off, it is extremely tough. Going through turn 1, you have to lift in wet conditions. On the start of the race, you probably won't lift, but on your normal flying laps you will. Going into farm again, what you do, you see here, you may think I'm a bad driver, I'm just missing the racing line, but in wet conditions, what you want to do is avoid the racing line at all costs, because the racing line is super duper slippery. You actually drive to the left, to the right of the racing line. That's where the rubber hasn't been deposited. Over the course of Friday and Saturday, we've had around let's say 500 laps completed by all of the drivers in total, and that's put a whole lot of rubber down on the racing line. As soon as the rain falls on that, it gets really slippery. So what we see is the drivers are off to the left a little bit, off to the right a little bit, and they break off the racing line, then go wide, go deep into the corner, again avoiding the slippery part of the circuit, and then they cut across the racing line as quickly as they possibly can, and then again go wide, and then hopefully don't get that much oversteer and Tokyo drift through the corner, and then smooth onto the power again. So we'll see what the drivers do, of course. Another thing they'll have to consider is the spray. Do they want to take the racing line? Do they want to drive slightly offset to the driver in front of them so they have a little bit more visibility? All of these things, the drivers, the teams are taking into account. We'll have all of the race engineers. They'll be looking through the onboards of last year when it started pouring, which was the optimal racing line to take, which curbs were slippery, which weren't slippery. And yeah, the onboards will be relaying all of that to their drivers right now. The national anthem ceremony has just finished. The drivers now heading back towards their cars very, very soon. And yeah, they'll be getting this this message, all of this info over the radio, over the radio essentially, and they'll be getting ready to go racing. All right, and again here for Stowe, you brake deep, you miss the racing line, you go wide, cut across the racing line again, smooth onto the power, and that is the optimal way to drive in wet conditions. And don't drive over the curbs. The curbs are super slippery. The painted white lines as well. We saw in Australia. Of course, Australia was a street circuit, and there were road markings, lane markings everywhere. The slippery white lines just sent drivers spinning. So you do have to be very, very careful, and we'll see how the drivers cope. But we are 9 minutes and 20 seconds away from the start of the race now, ladies and gents. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the chat. Who is going to be winning this race? Who do you think is going to be DNFing from this race? And if you haven't hit the like button already, folks, be sure to do so. It really does help out the channel. The YouTube algorithm loves it, and hopefully we can break some records. Yesterday was a record qualifying stream with the most number of people come to watch a quali stream ever in the channel's 5-year history, and hopefully this can be a record race stream as well. So yeah, very much appreciated, folks. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. We've got Franco Colapinto starting from the pit lane. Also, I think if you're watching this over on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen, this stream has been stolen by some random person called Black Box Gaming. So if you guys would like to support the original creator of this content, what you can do is come over to YouTube, search F1 Gamer, and I'll be the first live stream that comes up. So yeah, be sure to tune in to the actual content creator up on YouTube rather than watching someone's stolen stream on TikTok. Yeah, that would very much be appreciated. Okay, 8 minutes and 17 seconds left on the clock. What did Sainz get in? When did Sainz get into Q3? Sainz didn't. Sainz got promoted by the fact that Ollie Behrman had a 10-place grid penalty and Kimi Antonelli had a 3-place grid penalty. So Sainz has been propped up 2 places because of those 2 penalties. Behrman, a 10-place grid penalty for speeding through Stowe under red flag conditions and then also subsequently crashing the car. And then we had Antonelli with a 3-place grid penalty for crashing into Max Verstappen last weekend out in Austria. Okay, so here we go then, folks. 7 minutes now. Surely we'll be getting the tyre information coming through very, very shortly. Hamilton makes his way to the grid, and the team's switching tyres now, and so some of the teams are switching tyres on the car. I don't know what this is to do with. But look, Ocon says over the radio. So apparently it's still wet on the track, but obviously drying. So I think intermediate conditions is optimal. Intermediate tyre, sorry, would be optimal. Okay. Stroll podium, maybe. I mean, I'd love to see an Alonso podium, to be honest. And yeah, look at this. We're getting loads of people talking about how much it's drying out. It is drying out, of course. We've got a little bit more blue sky, and track temperature still 24 degrees, air temperature 17.3 degrees. And if you look at all of the grandstands, there's no umbrellas to be seen, and the rain has stopped as of now. So let me get rid of this little extra info thing on the screen. The circuit is most definitely wet, though. Okay, then. Yeah, we're here, round number 12 of 24 in the Formula 1 season, halfway through the season. Let's have a quick look at the drivers and the Constructors' Championship. So we have got Oscar Piastri, 216 points, Lando Norris, 201 points, Verstappen, 155, Russell, 146. Quite a big gap between all of these drivers. Well, quite a big gap between Verstappen, Russell, and Piastri, Norris. Those 2 drivers are sort of in their own little league right now, and we'll see what Verstappen can do, because obviously yesterday a sensational lap, and let's say if one of the McLarens were to DNF and Verstappen was to win the race, that 50-point lead that the McLarens have, the 60-point lead that they have, that's going to half immediately. So the first thing for the McLarens is to stay on the road. You've got to be consistent. You do not win a championship on your best days. You actually win your championship on your bad days, and it's a matter of how good your bad days are. And if your bad day is, I DNF out of the race and I crash, then you're not going to win a championship. If your bad day is, I drive kind of slowly but I still end up in 5th position or 4th position, then that's how you win a championship. So we'll see how that works out for those drivers. And then just looking at the constructors here, we got 417 points for the McLaren McLaren team, 210 for Ferrari, 209 for the Mercedes team. And yeah, well, in qualifying, it was a Mercedes sandwich, really. We had... the Ferraris were in a Mercedes sandwich. You had Russell and Antonelli, Russell in front of both Ferraris and Antonelli behind both of them. And the formation lap will be started behind the safety car, ladies and gentlemen. The formation lap is starting behind the safety car. So we'll see what happens between these two teams. But of course, Ferrari, two very, very experienced drivers, two very quick drivers. And I have a feeling they're going to be scoring more points than the Merc team this weekend. All right. The rain has died down a little bit, and there's still a 60% chance that the rain falls later on in the race, but as of right now, the rain has died down. Okay, here we go then. So a safety car formation lap, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're actually going to be starting behind the safety car for the actual race. It just means that the formation lap will be done at a much slower speed behind the safety car rather than Max Verstappen being able to dictate the pace. Okay, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. Give me just 1 sec, folks. Okay. So here we go then. Round number 12 of 24 in Silverstone. We've only got 11 meters of elevation change between the lowest and the highest point of the circuit. What does that mean? We're going to have a lot of standing water. We're not going to have, the water run off the side of the circuit, run off down the hill. It's going to stay exactly where it is, cause aquaplaning, cause spins, cause drivers to lose control over the curbs. But the sunshine has come out very, very early on, actually. It was pouring it down probably 25 minutes ago, with everyone with their umbrellas out, everyone with their jackets and caps on, and now, as is very typical of the British weather, the clouds have parted and we have got blue skies at least for about half of the sky, and the sun is shining. So I probably should edit my title not saying heavy rain because, well, we don't have heavy rain. Also, for whatever reason, they haven't told us which tyres the drivers are starting on. Typically, we get told a lot earlier, but I'm going to take you through all of the drivers now, give you a little bit of information on what is going to happen for all of them and what their chances are looking like for this Grand Prix. So, just looking up at the top, this is Max Verstappen's 44th pole position for Red Bull. That equals Sebastian Vettel's record, and it looks like everyone is starting the race on the intermediate tyres, as expected, really. The intermediate tyres, it must be the water, folks, and that's why the drivers have started on the inters. Then, so Verstappen, 44 pole positions, and, kind of nice to do it at Lewis Hamilton's home circuit as well. If you're a Verstappen fan, he's just at Lewis Hamilton's home circuit, got 44 pole positions. Then it is 107th pole for Red Bull. That's tied with Lotus. At 5th for the all-time number of poles for a Formula 1 team. Then we have got Verstappen and Oscar Piastri, both drivers have got 4 poles this season. They're both tied on 4 poles, and it's anyone's game. They're both starting on the front row of the grid. The last time it happened was in Saudi Arabia, and we know how that one went. It was not an easy battle for Verstappen. He did have to have a pretty big fight with Piastri. Okay, lap number 15 and lap number 17, ladies and gentlemen, heavy rain. That is what Aston Martin have just said over the radio to Fernando Alonso. Good news. So it's not just, the rain hasn't just fell and it's going to disappear. Lap number 15 to 17, they expect more rain, heavier rain, very, very heavy. So let's wait and see. 50 seconds left on the clock. We'll have the formation lap behind the safety car, ladies and gents, behind the safety car. Then we're going to go racing. We have got now 25,000 people tune into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and look forward to commentating to you guys for the entirety of this race. It's going to be absolutely mega. So here we go then. Looking at Lando Norris, he has this is his third He's starting third place for the second year in a row now, and also this is the first time that he's been beaten by a teammate here in Silverstone. Every other time in his career, even in his rookie season, he still beat his teammate at the Silverstone Grand Prix. Not this year. Oscar Piastri breaks that streak for Lando Norris, and Piastri beats his teammate. We got George Russell starting in fourth position for the 8th time this season. We've had 12 races so far this season, and George Russell has started in 8th. It started in 4th, 8 of them. Super duper consistent from George Russell. Let me get rid of this timer, and we're getting the safety car coming out onto the circuit here. Loads of spray behind Max Verstappen, and the cars are weaving left, right, and centre. Okay. Then, also, I'd like to point out the qualifying record between Russell and Antonelli, 11-1. Russell has outqualified Antonelli 11 times to 1 this season. So, Russell has still got the upper hand over his rookie teammate, as is to be expected. Lewis Hamilton is on a good run of form. Out of the last 4 races, this is the 3rd time now that he has outqualified Charles Leclerc. So who knows? And we've got 30,000 people tuned into the stream. We're going to have a lot of Hamilton fans. This is the last time I'm going to mention this statistic, but Hamilton has got 9 wins at Silverstone. 2 of those wins have happened when he is outside of the top 3, and both times he won from outside the top 3, the date was the 6th of July. So today is also the 6th of July. It might just be a special fairy tale for Lewis Hamilton. Can he get another win? The first one was, of course, 2008 Silverstone when he won with McLaren, and then 2014 was the other one when he won with Mercedes. Yeah, and then we've got Antonelli qualified recently in 7th. He's been dropped down to 10th with a 3-place grid penalty. We've got Behrman, who qualified in 8th. He's down to 18th with a 10-place grid penalty. Pierre Gasly has reached Q3 7 times, despite Alpine being last in the Constructors' Championship. We've had 12 races so far this season, or 12 qualifying sessions. Piastri has reached Q3 7 times, even though his car is most certainly the slowest car in the grid. Round of applause for Pierre Gasly, honestly. Sensational driving for him so far, and we'll see how he continues on this season. Both Williams missed Q3. The last time that happened was 2020 the last time that happened was 2020, so it's been a while since that's happened, and it'd be nice to see the Williams do well here at their home Grand Prix. Here we go then, folks. We are underway for the formation lap, and let's see what will happen. We've got 33,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. And I'm going to be commentating, this F1 gamer commentating for the entire stream. We're going to have 52 laps of racing around here in Silverstone. We're going to start the race on into tyres. The circuit's going to dry up a little bit. Lap number 15 to lap number 17. Oh, Russell's into the pits. Russell's into the pits. What's he doing? Is he coming onto slicks? Russell's into the slicks, and so is Charles Leclerc. Interesting choice. They're out onto the medium tyres. Okay, chaos before the race has even begun, ladies and gentlemen. Russell has given up his 4th position place to start the race in dead last, and start on a fresh set of mediums. Oh my goodness me. Then we have got Piastri in 2nd, Norris in 3rd. The circuit is really drying up, and Piastri, very importantly, says the last sector is too wet for slick tyres. I think Russell and Leclerc, they're all just going to hope that the circuit dries up later on. In the first couple of laps, all 20 cars driving around should dry the circuit up, and that's what they're hoping for. That's what they got their fingers crossed for. Hadjar, Bortoletto, Behrman, and Colapinto all start in the pits, and they're all going to be on the medium tyres. We have got the 5 lights now. Here we are for the British Grand Prix in 2025. It is lights out and away we go, ladies and gentlemen. Great start here from Max Verstappen, and leads the way into turn 1. Oh, we've got a couple of drivers going a little bit wide into turn 1, but Verstappen continues on his way, leading from the front, and someone's dropping back, or is that a GPS fault? Going through turn number 3 and 4, someone's lost a lot of positions. Who is that? Russell and Leclerc. Oh yeah, of course they dropped back because they started the race on the... Wait, Russell, it says he's on Russell says he's on inters. Why did he come into the pits if he was going to be on intermediate tyres? Unless that's a glitch. Lawson's had an issue on going onto the Wellington straight. He's going slowly. He's continuing on though. Nicely done from him, not causing a safety car by the looks of it. The yellow flag is still deployed, but he looks to be getting underway. And Verstappen leads the way from the front. It is Leclerc, Bortoleto, and Colapinto out on the... Colapinto hasn't even started the race. Colapinto, I guess, has did not start, has aborted before the race has even begun. Lawson is stopped on the side of the circuit. That could mean a safety car. That could mean a lot of drivers get a free pit stops, but Leclerc and Russell, they could find themselves at the front of the pack. Okay, let's keep an eye out on these sector times here. For whatever reason, the data is having a bit of a field day and it's going a bit slowly, so I do apologize for all of the lag and the sector times not coming up, but we're getting a nice battle here. Hamilton trying to get ahead of Norris. Down the inside they go, side by side into Vale. Norris on the inside, Hamilton on the outside. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Norris goes a little bit deep. Can Hamilton get the switch back? He is right on his tail. He's pushing him through Club Corner, and Hamilton has to live to fight another day. Someone else is coming to him. Gasly's all over the back of Hamilton now. Hamilton had to back off. Thanks, Anastasia, for the donation. Max Verstappen's going to win. Maybe it is, but it's a virtual safety car deployed, and the race has been neutralized. That was so close between Norris and Hamilton, and Norris just stays ahead. All right, lap number 2 of 52. We've had so much chaos. It's a puncture for Liam Lawson. He's out of the race. VSC deployed. They're gonna have to pick up the car, and let's keep our eyes peeled. What was Leclerc's sector time? So Leclerc did a 46.0. All of the drivers on the inters were doing 41s, but also they were stuck in their own little bit of traffic. Russell was driving particularly slowly. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens there with those drivers. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't know what the right call is. The circuit looks pretty dry as of this moment, but the final sector, that's the issue. It's all good driving through turns number 1 to 10 in dry conditions, but if turn number 12, 13, 14 are all wet, then you cannot be out on the slicks. We've got a message from radio, over the radio from Norris. Sector 1 dry, sector 2 first half dry, second half I expect it's more damp. Last sector full wet. That is the problem that we're having here in Silverstone, and that's why it's so tricky. Okay, no, Russell is out on the hard tyres. Russell's out on the hards. That is bold from George Russell. Okay, so anyone who was driving on the previous lap, they were going 3-4 seconds slower just through the middle sector alone because they're on slicks. I can't imagine what the final sector is going to be because the final sector is full wet, but it is it's going to be a tough one to say the least. But the circuit, every single lap they drive behind the safety car, that's the racing line cleaning up a little bit. That's a little bit less standing water on the circuit, and that could mean it becomes time to pit onto those slicks a lot sooner. Pierre Gasly, honestly, great from him. Up into 5th position. Antonelli's into the pits. Okay, Antonelli's into the pits. Does that mean it's going to be mediums or hards for him? Because I don't really know what the play is from Antonelli, but they come into the pits, a quick pit stop from the Mercedes crew, and it looks like it's a set of hard tyres. Yes, it is. Antonelli's out on hard, hits onto the safety car, only losing 9 seconds of lap time. Any other driver, if you pit under normal racing conditions, you lose 20 seconds. Kimi Antonelli loses only 9 because he pits under the safety car. Okay, F1 Gamer slow mode, please. Oh yeah, let me pop on slow mode. Apologies. I totally forgot with all the chaos going on. Slow mode, a message every 10 seconds. All right. So here we go then. VSC still out there, still picking up Lawson's car. The marshals are pushing it away. But now we've got even more cars on the circuit we've got even more cars on the circuit with slick tyres. Behrman again saying the same thing. The whole track's good for slicks apart from the final sector. And you're either gonna have to take a gamble, but pitting under the VSC is gonna gain you 11 seconds worth of lap time. However, driving just the middle sector, we saw the drivers on the opening lap, they were 5 seconds slower if they were on slick tires just through the first sector or the second sector compared to the drivers on the inters. So you only have to drive second sector, third sector, like 2 laps, and you gain that 11 second back immediately. So maybe it's not the strategy choice to go out onto the slicks. Just yet. Islam Marov, the wind's coming from the northwest direction. Why is the wind important? The wind affects the downforce levels. It's not too powerful right now. It's at 4.3 kilometers per hour. Yesterday we had it 4-5 times more powerful, and that was the big problem. But for now, 4 kilometers per hour, not an issue for any of these drivers. Okay. So, yeah, the drivers do gain 11 seconds by pitting under the VSC, but then, of course, you're going to lose a lot of that lap time because you're going to be, you're just going to be driving slower while the circuit's still wet. Do you have the data when the VSC ends? No, that hasn't been told. They normally release a little VSC ending about 20 seconds before the start, before the end of the VSC. They've just given a clear and track sector 4 VSC ending, ladies and gentlemen. VSC is ending very, very soon now. So Verstappen is getting ready to put on the throttle, get ready to get going, and VSC track clear. It is time to go racing. Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, all of them neck and neck. 7 tenths is the gap between Verstappen and Piastri. Piastri, I think he's caught Verstappen napping a little bit there. The gap stays at half a second. There's no DRS. Verstappen has the top speed advantage. It's going to be difficult for Piastri to overtake. And Hamilton over the radio, they come over the radio to Hamilton. Rain expected in 10 laps. So are the drivers on the inters just going to stick it out there for 10 laps? Wait for the rain to arrive. This is exactly what was told over the... Oh, someone stopped! Bortoletto's crashed. He crashed in FP3. He's crashed again now, going through Abbey and in towards Farm. The yellow flags are out again. This is going to be another safety car. Oh no, Bortoletto's got it moving. Bortoletto has got it moving. He says, I'm okay. He continues on, and is that going to be a safety car, or is he able to get it back to the pits? He's managed to get out of the pits, and it's green flag still at the front, and look at that gap. It is half a second. No DRS as of right now because of the wet conditions, but Piastri is Piastri had a pretty bad exit out of Maggots and Beckett for that one. Colapinto retired before the race even begun. We had Gabriel Bortoletto driving through Abbey and just losing grip, just the car snapping out from underneath him. It didn't look like he did anything wrong, but just a loss of grip. And out of the race, unfortunately. That rear wing is flapping around like crazy. Okay, he's driving around super duper slowly. Verstappen, fastest lap of the race. That's quickly taken away by Pierre Gasly. This man is absolutely incredible. Alpine is 10th in the constructors. They have the slowest car on the grid. Yet Pierre Gasly up in 5th position, looking to challenge Lewis Hamilton. Wow. Verstappen now weaving left-right, trying to break Piastri's slipstream. Of course, no DRS just yet. Piastri, any advantage you can get is going to be down to a slipstream, and he is gaining on Verstappen through the first sector. 2 tenths gained, and he's practically pushing him through Lovefield. Bortoletto stopped again on the exit of Copse. If there's any sort of overtaking opportunity at Copse corner, Verstappen and Piastri won't be able to pull it off because there's a yellow flag. Bortoletto's parked up, and surely that's going to mean a virtual safety car or a safety car again. I don't know what's happening there. Bortoletto's parked up on the side of the circuit. Not exactly the safest thing in the world. I do apologise, folks, for the data glitching around a little bit, but it's just the FIA, really. I can't really do much about it. Their systems are just a bit laggy, especially once there's a load of people watching this race, and I'm certain there is, because it's going to be an absolutely mega one. We see the drivers now weaving around, taking loads of different lines, trying to cool down the intermediate tyres. Through the first and second sectors, they warm up, they start overheating. The final sector's too wet. That's where they cool them down again. And Verstappen and Piastri making their way through Vale and Club now. It is we'll see what Verstappen can do. VSC deployed again. Piastri was getting so close, and the fastest lap of the race from Piastri as well, albeit with yellow flags through Copse corner, so it's not as relevant. But let's have a look here. George Russell on the hard tyres through the middle sector is going identical lap times to everyone else. Through the first sector is going 2 seconds slower, and then we don't know about the final sector because we haven't had a lap without yellow flags yet. Where to watch the race, folks. If you guys do want to watch Formula 1 for only $2 a month, there's a link in the description to Surfshark VPN. All you've got to do, get Surfshark VPN, download it onto your computer, and then join an Austrian VPN server, go onto Google, search Service TV, make an account, log in. Service TV is for free. The only thing you need to pay for is Surfshark VPN. Go ahead and check it out if you guys are interested. It supports the channel as well. And yeah, it definitely works. We've got 300 or so people using this method currently on the stream right now. And I'm just looking at the weather radar here. There is more rain on the way, ladies and gentlemen. So around 10 laps or so is what we were told from Lewis Hamilton. So let's see what happens. Let's see when it starts falling. But you can see the clouds off into the distance. They are super dark and gloomy. And yeah, it's good news. Good news. Okay, we're getting very close to 179k subs, folks. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. We're 46 subscribers away. So be sure to hit the subscribe button there, folks. Yeah. Alrighty then. Still VSC deployed. Now might be the time. Now might be the time to switch on to those slick tires. You'll get a quick pit stop as well under the VSC. That might be the play as the final sector dries up. But is someone going into the pit lane? Oh no, they looked like they were, but they've just dodged it right at the last second. I think that was Hamilton actually. Colapinto never started the race, so yeah, I don't know why he didn't start, but clearly some sort of issue with his car, and yeah, unable to start the race. Lawson eliminated after contact through the opening lap with Esteban Ocon, and Bortoletto eliminated because he crashed. Yeah, just not good enough from him really. Okay, VSC is still out. They've picked up the cars. We've got Stroll into the pits. So Stroll is switching from the intermediate tyres to the slick tyres. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see how Stroll copes with it. Norris crashing into Piastri, giving Hamilton P2. I mean, I don't know what happened at the race start. It was a whole lot of chaos. But Hamilton's not in P2. Hamilton's in P4. So rain in 10 minutes, exactly, folks, exactly. So this is why we're seeing some of the drivers stick it out on the intermediate tires, because their thinking is, right, we can drive slowly for the next couple of laps, make sure our tires don't overheat. Then in 5 laps times, we'll be the one that are laughing. VSC is ending, folks. VSC is ending. We'll be the ones that are laughing because the rain will start to fall and you drivers aren't going to come back into the pits. Okay, VSC is ending. Verstappen and Piastri, half a second is the gap. VSC ends. Apologies for the lag once again, folks, but the drivers are pushing so hard. Here comes Verstappen and Piastri, and they make their way through Maggots and Beckett's. Now onto the hanger straight. Still no DRS assistance, but the gap down to 0.4 of a second. Piastri is getting a mega toe off Max Verstappen, but Verstappen, with the low downforce setup, manages just to hold on by the finest of margins, drifts a little bit wide, loses a little bit of grip, but stays ahead of the Aussie. Oh, it's purple in the middle sector from Stroll. Stroll on the soft tyres goes purple in the middle sector. Of course, that's partially helped by the fact that the VSC deployed when Verstappen and Piastri were halfway through the middle sector, but we'll see what their middle sector times are. And the big thing now, compare the difference between the drivers that are on the slicks and the inters through the first couple of sectors. All right. Oh, they say normal grip conditions. DRS has been enabled, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers are still out on inters, but DRS has been enabled. Verstappen makes a tiny mistake. DRS for Oscar Piastri heading onto the Wellington Straight. What's it going to be? DRS is open. they're pressing the overtake button is Oscar Piastri. Verstappen goes defensive, Piastri to the outside, and Verstappen holds it through Brooklyn. Look, Piastri tries to fight him back through Luffield. He's going to try to go the long way around. Verstappen has placed his car to perfection. Oscar Piastri is going to have to wait to make an overtake, potentially through Copse Corner. He is right on Verstappen's tail. The top speed is not enough to hold Oscar Piastri behind. Verstappen looks to the inside. Piastri backs out of this one. He does not want to repeat what happened in 2021. He doesn't send one to the inside. Plays it safe now through Maggots and Beckett's. Again, there's a DRS detection point just before there. He gets that DRS detection point. Both drivers have their rear light flashing for visibility purposes, and both drivers pressing the... Oh, it's a huge slide for Verstappen. Verstappen, huge slide out of Maggots and Beckett's. DRS is wide open for Oscar Piastri. He looks to the inside. Verstappen to the outside. It's a drag race down the hanger straight. Piastri gets Verstappen into Stowe, and can Verstappen fight this one back? No, he cannot. Oscar Piastri is our new race leader, but how much longer can he hold on to this one for? Yeah, that car for Max Verstappen, it's slipping and sliding everywhere. George Russell comes over the radio saying it's raining brilliant in a very sarcastic tone because the rain has started to fall. And what tyres is he out on? He's out on slick tyres. He may be going quicker through the middle sector, but it doesn't matter. In 2, 3, 4 laps time, it's going to be pouring it down, and the slick tyres, the drivers on the slicks are going to have to come back into the pits. And we've got a fastest lap from Stroll. I mean, fantastic, Stroll. Take it in. You're not going to get many of those because the rain's about to start, and yeah, Russell takes that away from Stroll. Behrman purple through the middle sector, and Verstappen has already dropped 1.5 seconds off the back of Oscar Piastri. We've got Gasly versus Hamilton, and a really good battle going on. Kimi Antonelli and Charles Leclerc are squabbling away, both on slicks, and yeah, they're going to need to come into the pits very, very soon. Oh my goodness me. Okay. So up at the front, Piastri extending that gap. Honestly, the extra downforce that the McLaren has is super duper handy because, yeah, in these wet conditions, downforce is king. Top speed may be useful in a quali lap, like Verstappen showed us yesterday, but in wet conditions, downforce is king. And Verstappen, in fact, coming under pressure from Lando Norris. Apologies for all of the lag here, folks. The data is just lagging today. I can't do much about it. The FIA being incompetent as always. And we have got it's a drag race between Antonelli and Charles Leclerc down the old start finish straight. Antonelli goes a little bit defensive. Leclerc backs out of that one. He's not going to make an overtake through Copse Corner. Not that much commitment required when you're battling away for 14th position anyway. And Lando Norris is catching up at a rate of knots here, ladies and gentlemen. 2 seconds is the gap between between Norris and Verstappen. Piastri breezed past Verstappen. Can Norris do the same? We've got Leclerc now, pulls outside of Kimi Antonelli down the hanger straight, an overtake into Stowe. Nicely done from Charles Leclerc. Now they enter sector 3, the slipperiest of all of the sectors. Hülkenberg dives into the pit lane. He's going to drop back a couple more places. But why is he coming into the pits if there's more rain on the way? I didn't exactly know what is going on there, but Hülkenberg drops down into the pits. So does Antonelli, and Leclerc fastest lap of the race. He goes 4 seconds quicker than Oscar Piastri. He's doing his best now. He's going to make the most of his slick tyres while the conditions still suit him, and then he's going to switch on to the inters for his pit stop. Okay, up at the front, gap down to 1.2 seconds. Norris is closing up ASAP. And Verstappen versus Norris, we've seen this battle before. You know, it typically lasts a lot longer than Verstappen versus Piastri. Piastri finds a way past Max Verstappen rather quickly, and we'll see if that trend continues of Piastri getting past Verstappen quickly and Norris being stuck behind his rear wing for quite a while. Alonso on the back of Pierre Gasly, and we have got Antonelli. He's out on intermediate tyres, so yeah, he clearly had no grip out on those hards, and he's decided, right, time to come in for the inters. There's nothing much that I can do. And Stroll, I've got to say, Stroll is making incredible progress here. He's on the soft tyres, he's on the quicker tyres for these conditions, and he's blasting past the competition. He's about to catch up to his teammate Fernando Alonso, and Stroll started so much further back, and he also has done a pit stop. So a pretty good strategy call there from the Aston Martin crew. Lando Norris now 1.4 seconds off the back of Verstappen. Verstappen picking up the pace. DRS has been disabled again, folks. It's going to be tough now for Lando Norris because no DRS to help him out with an overtake. And Verstappen, as the intermediate tyres come into their own with the rain starting to fall, we are seeing Verstappen hold on to that gap a little bit better. We've got Stroll into the pits, Russell into the pits, Leclerc into the pits, all of the slick tyre runners all into the pits. Oh my god, it's a huge downpour. It's a humongous thunderstorm going on right now. If it continues on for more than 10 minutes, we're going to need full wet tyres. Oh my god, the British weather is absolutely crazy. It's gone from no rain to a full-on thunderstorm in a matter of minutes. I mean, who needs the cyclone typhoon weather in Malaysia when you can get the British thunderstorms in a matter of minutes? We've got a purple final sector from Nico Hülkenberg. He's on a fresh set of intermediate tyres. That is going to help him out. A little bit more tread on the tyre increases the grip, reduces the chances of aquaplaning. Here comes Lando Norris heading towards Maggots and Beckett's. Max Verstappen versus Lando Norris. Who gets out ahead? Verstappen just stays ahead through Maggots and Beckett's, but he had a really big snap when he was battling against Piastri on the exit of Chapel, and that's where he lost out. And another snap. Verstappen off into the grass, and Lando Norris up into second position. The low downforce setup for Max Verstappen is not working today. Lando Norris up into second place. It is a 1-2 for the McLarens, and another mistake from Max Verstappen at the same corner, and he loses the position to both McLarens. Oh, we've got someone into the pits. Piastri's into the pits. Is he coming in for inters or is he coming in for full wets? Because the rain is very heavy. Verstappen's into the pits. Norris is into the pits. Loads of drivers now I expect are going to be coming into the pits. What tyres is it going to be? It is inters, I think. I think it is intermediate tyres for the... Oh, it's a slow pit stop. Slow pit stop for Norris. And is Verstappen going to jump him? Yes, he is. Verstappen jumps Norris in the pits because of a slow pit stop. Absolute chaos down in the pit lane. They double stacked the McLarens. Clearly, they hadn't done enough practice because a slow pit stop for Norris in second. Verstappen takes second place back. And it's intermediate tyres again. I've got to point out, the first set of intermediate tyres, they got worn out. The teams have come in for a fresh set of inters. Nobody out on the full wets just yet. Alright, and Albon continues on though. Albon continues on, Ocon continues on, a lot of drivers continuing on here because they're like, well, we're already on the inters, we might as well take a little bit of a gamble. Alexander Albon in second position. You know, Verstappen's not going to have DRS. He's going to have to do this overtake on pure pace. It's not blue flags or anything like that. Albon is fighting Verstappen for position. He drifts a little bit wide here and the car is twitching about. He's not taking the correct racing lines, is Alex Albon, and he loses that position going through left field. Great overtake by Max, and now Lando Norris, their former Formula 2 rookies, have Lando Norris and Alex Albon have got to battle away, going through Copse Corner. Alex Albon holding up Lando Norris ever so slightly, and that's Verstappen's not, and Norris is not going to be happy out with this one. Verstappen very much is so. Okay, alright, absolute chaos down here in the UK, and Albon gets told over the pits to box. Everyone wants a fresh set of intermediate rubber. It's going to give you that little bit more grip because the rain is pretty intense here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 50,000 people watching the live stream. We're the biggest live stream on YouTube right now, folks. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. It really is appreciated, and I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks' time in Belgium as well. I think the Ardennes Forest has got some more rain to provide us, and provide us Formula 1 fans, and hope to see you guys there in Belgium. But all eyes now here on Silverstone. Alex Albon comes into the pits. Ocon, does he continue on? Ocon continues on. He's on a U set of inters. He does not care though. He's going to stay out. This is his best shot of scoring some solid points here in the Haas car, and I guess he's just going to stay out in these slightly treacherous conditions. Also, I would like to point out here, ladies and gentlemen, the track positions that you see currently on the circuit, they are correct and accurate. So Nico Hülkenberg is actually in fourth position. Oh my goodness me. Stroll just gets ahead of him going through the loop, but a fantastic battle between Stroll and Nico Hülkenberg, and we could get a Hülkenberg podium. We could get a podium from Nico Hülkenberg. That would be wild. He is not that far off. The rain's expected to get even heavier. Oh my god, there is so much spray. Surely we're going to have the wet tyres come out. Huge plumes of spray coming out from the cars now. And Norris has absolutely no visibility behind that Red Bull. It's full wet conditions now in the middle sector. And surely Piastri's going to come into the pits at this moment because it is so dangerous out there now with these full wets. And yeah, Hamilton over the radio saying it's definitely wet tyres right now. And yeah, all of the drivers that came into the pits 1-2 laps ago, they're going to feel like such idiots. They came out on intermediate tyres. Surely the wet tyres was the way to go forward. So Esteban Ocon could come in for some wets, and that would really help out his race strategy. Let's see what Piastri does. Piastri continues on. Verstappen, does he dive into the pits? No. Verstappen and Norris continue on. We've got a yellow, someone going slowly. Is that Charles Leclerc? No, okay, we're fine. We're continuing on. The green flag's back out, and oh my goodness me. I mean, I would love to see a Nico Hülkenberg podium. That would be incredible. Safety car's out. Safety car is out, ladies and gentlemen. There's just so much rain. They've deployed the safety car, and everyone's slowing down. Safety car's out. Oh, what a turn of events here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, and this is the actual positions. You know, there's no pit stops left. There's nothing left. Lance Stroll is in 4th place. Nico Hülkenberg in 5th. Pierre Gasly in 6th position. Ocon in 7th. Hamilton and Leclerc 8th and 14th for them. Absolutely nowhere to be seen. We've got the Mercedes, Russell and Antonelli 9th and 15th for them. Again, nowhere to be seen. And some sensational driving from Stroll and Hülkenberg and Gasly. Yeah, I must say, what a race. We're only lap number 14 as well, folks. We've still got we're only 1/3 of the way through the race. We've got more chaos, more rain, more action waiting ahead for us. And the race has been neutralised. You know, thankfully, the FIA hasn't called out a red flag. We're still under safety car conditions, which means the track is still going to be getting cleared up. Loads of standing water is going to be pushed over to the left and the right and the left side of the circuit. And Charles Leclerc just went straight on through Maggots and Beckett's, cut the corner entirely, but stayed and held his track position. So, yeah, but pretty major aquaplaning for Charles Leclerc, I've got to say. He managed to keep it under control, though, so I must say a great car control from Leclerc. And yeah, just aquaplane straight off. There's water that came onto my visor. I couldn't see anything. Huge splash of water. Yeah, it's very tricky out there. Do the wet tyres not exist? Well, I don't know. Surely now, under safety car conditions, wet tyres would be ideal to come into the pit. You're only going to lose 9 seconds in the pits. Exotech, thanks for the donation. Some love to the British Grand Prix for bringing us Chaos 2025, giving us some bangers. Thank you, England. Yeah, it is so much action. Honestly, absolute banger of a Grand Prix, and we're only 1/4 of the way through. Wait, do I see blue skies again? I'm watching Lando Norris's visor cam, and I see blue skies off to the left of the circuit. I mean, we've still got pouring rain as of right now, but there's rain, and the wind 15 kilometers per hour as well. It's picked up significantly, and pouring rain, but the wind blowing the clouds away from the circuit, and we may get a little bit more blue skies. All right, Verstappen's going to close up right to the back of Piastri. Piastri worked so hard for that huge lead that he built up. The safety car has just totally ruined it. Why the wet tyres never used recently? The wet tyres aren't used recently because, well, as we've just seen over the coverage here, it says rain ending in 4 minutes. You're going to waste an entire pit stop. You know, 20 seconds coming into the pits to put on a set of wet tyres, 20 seconds again to pit off the wet tyres onto the intermediates. So you lose 40 seconds of lap time just coming into the pits. So the drivers don't gain 40 seconds by switching onto the wet tyres, and hence they don't decide to take the loss and come into the pits to put the wets on. It's not only considering that you have to come in, put the wets on, and then you also have to consider going back in and taking them off and putting on a different set of tyres. So that's why you have to gain 40 seconds worth of lap time to make the wet tyres viable, and the intermediate tyres are good enough in most conditions, good enough in these conditions, and that's why we see the drivers still using them. Okay. Yeah. Safety car is out, ladies and gents. All of the cars now following the safety car. You can see there's a lot that normally everyone's really bunched up behind the safety car, but right now with all of the spray, everyone leaving sufficient distance so they have enough visibility, they can see what's going on, and still maintain the tyre temperature. Yeah. And you can see there Stroll has dropped off the back of Norris, and I'm sure Stroll hasn't even realised that he's dropped off the back of Norris because of just the insane amount of spray coming off just the top 3 cars. I can't imagine what Behrman's dealing with. Down in 17th position, there's going to be loads of spray in the air. Mirko, thanks for the donation. I hope Antonelli can make a comeback. I mean, Antonelli, I've got to say, he was the only rookie in the Australian Grand Prix when it was raining, when it was super tricky on that street circuit out in Melbourne. Antonelli was the only rookie not to DNF, so he's got some serious talent in wet conditions. In fact, he's made an overtake through Eau Rouge and Radion at Spa in wet conditions in Formula 2, and yeah, that was one of the overtakes that sort of put him on Toto Wolff's radar, then got him into Formula 1, so he can definitely drive in the rain. Let's see what he can do. Hopefully he can make a comeback. Carsten Chong, do you support Sainz? Well, I support all of the drivers, really. My favourite driver is Seb Vettel, but of course he's no longer driving here. So, yeah, why not support Carlos Sainz? He's up in 11th position, and he's got a fresh set of inters to his name, so he's just got to get ahead of his Spanish colleague, Fernando Alonso, and make some moves. Okay, yeah, this is a very, very tricky race here. Let's see, Alonso struggling about front tyre temperature. A lot of drivers struggling with tyre temperature here. And the rain is now stopping, ladies and gentlemen. The forecast and what the drivers can see from the pit lane and such, and the engineers. The rain is stopping, it's reducing. We had a thunderstorm for a total of, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then, not even that probably, and now the rain is reducing. The safety car's out just for wet conditions and because it was so much spray, but Stroll could be on for a podium here. Stroll could be on for a podium, but, Stroll's got a podium before. I really want to see Nico Hülkenberg get a podium. That would be wild. Yeah, there isn't any standing water. There isn't, because all of the cars are driving around. The FIA did the correct thing, deployed the safety car rather than calling the red flag, which means that the standing water that would have built up on the circuit gets thrown off by 20 Formula 1 cars spraying the water everywhere. We don't have DRS on full wets. The DRS has been disabled. Yeah. Alrighty then. Okay, so here we go. Lap number 16 of 52. I suspect the safety car is going to be coming in next lap or the lap after that. It's not particularly long now. It's once the drivers come over the radio, start saying, oh yeah, we're good to go racing, but yeah, we shall wait and see. All right. Here we go then, folks. Here we go. Let me know what your predictions are. Who do you think is going to DNF from this race? We've had 3 DNF so far. Colapinto not starting the race, Lawson crashing out on the first lap, and then Bortoletto spinning on his own going through turn number 2. Okay, I'm going to take you through a lap of the circuit while we're here in the wet conditions, what it's going to look like for the drivers. So the main thing for the wet conditions is you want to avoid the actual racing line. This green line that you can see here, you don't want to be driving over that. That's the slipperiest part of the circuit. What you actually want to do is, when you're doing your braking, when you're doing your turning especially, you want to be slightly off the racing line, slightly offset to the right or to the left. So here, going through this corner, I'm slightly offset to the right hand side, and then I cut across it, drift out wide again because this part has more grip, cut across it again, and then for some corners you just have to take the normal racing line because there's no other way of doing it. So going through the loop here on the exit onto the Wellington Straight, you just have to take the normal racing line. It's a little bit slippery, a little bit tricky, but you just have to do it. Now going to Brooklyn again, offset yourself a little bit to the left hand side, then break in a straight line, drift out wide, go deep. This is the part of the circuit where you have a little bit more grip. This is the line that we've seen Verstappen take quite a few times. Other drivers like Albon, they haven't been taking this line because, well, I don't know, maybe they don't know, maybe they don't have that much experience around these sort of wet/dry circuits, but Yeah, Verstappen's been taking that line a lot. Then going through Copse Corner, you have to lift in wet conditions. There's no way you can take that one flat. And, you know, I'm doing this from the position of someone that's in first place. If you aren't in first place, you've got huge amounts of spray and you can barely see a thing. Going through Maggots and Beckett's, you just have to hope and pray, really. You put your foot flat to the floor and just pray that you make it through, because you cannot see a thing if you're in spray and you're going along at 300 kilometers per hour. It's absolutely wild. Then going in towards Stowe, again, offset yourself ever so slightly, go deep into the corner, so don't take the normal race. Oh, safety car in this lap, folks. Safety car is in this lap. And yeah, again for Vale, offset yourself to the left, break in a straight line, get your rotation done early. Also short shift through the corners. Don't Tokyo drift like I've just done there. Short shift through all of the corners, because you don't even want to see these engine rev lights, because the engine rev lights just mean wheel spin and the car snapping out from underneath you. So that's sort of the situation. Now everyone is bunched up. Oh my god, Piastri is driving so slowly. He's backed everyone up. We haven't even got the drivers in a single file line. They're all sort of crisscrossed over each other, overlapping with each other, and the green flag is waving. Now it's down to Oscar Piastri. When is he going to put his pedal to the metal? Is it going to be on the exit of Stowe? Is it going to be on the exit of Vale or Club? It is down to Oscar Piastri. A little bit of wheel spin as he gets his foot flat to the floor, and yeah, he's starting to attack. Through Vale we go. The sun has started to shine. What is going on here in Silverstone? The sun has just come out. We had a thunderstorm about 5 minutes ago, and now the sun's come out shining, and Verstappen just driving through the spray of Piastri. You cannot even see Verstappen. Verstappen's only 5 meters back from Piastri. You just see the drivers emerge from the spray. What an overtake! Down the inside you go for George Russell. He overtakes his former teammate Lewis Hamilton. What a move from the Brit. And Hamilton, in fact, oh no, sorry, apologies. I couldn't even tell because of the spray. Hamilton was the driver going around the outside. Yeah, absolutely wild from Lewis Hamilton. He's a man on a mission. He's trying to now overtake Pierre Gasly. Let's see what Hülkenberg can do. I'm rooting for Nico Hülkenberg. If, you know, normally I don't support any driver, but Nico Hülkenberg's up in 5th position. We've got 2/3 of the race left to go. Surely he can get up onto the podium. All right. Yeah, up at the front, look at that gap, 1.7 seconds. Verstappen's dropped back. He can't see a thing. We've got Yuki Tsunoda on the back of Charles Leclerc, practically pushing him through Luffield. And Leclerc is off the back of Sainz and Albon. And in fact, they're putting a lot of pressure on Fernando Alonso and Ocon up ahead. But up at the front, you can see the gaps all spreading out. Now, Norris not gaining on Verstappen like he was previously. I'm sure Verstappen's been told, oh, yellow flag, what's that? Hadjar going through Copse Corner has stopped on the side of the circuit. I don't know if that's a crash or if that's a spin, but Hadjar stopped on the entry to Copse. Another yellow flag and another safety car. Oh my goodness me, yeah, it's a big old crash for Isaac Hadjar. Front right suspension destroyed, out of the race for certain. And that is DNF number 4, ladies and gentlemen, for this Grand Prix. And just as we went racing, we hadn't even had an entire lap of racing, and the safety car's still out. And yeah, chaos ensues here in Silverstone. Oh my god. We've got 50,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Hopefully we can hit 180k subs today. That would be absolutely epic. And yeah, hope to see you guys around for the next couple of Grand Prix. Hopefully you're enjoying this week's commentary. I think it's been one of my best commentaries out of the past 4 or 5 years, honestly. It's been very, very exciting, to say the least. Okay. Right. Another thing, I did have a Surfshark VPN going on, Surfshark VPN giveaway last weekend, and just to announce who won that, it is the oh, I had it written down. Where's it gone? The Cartoon King. The Cartoon King has won the Surfshark giveaway. And again, if we hit 181k subs today, all you have to do in the chat is type F1 live, and you get entered into the giveaway. The Cartoon King won it last weekend, so just send me a DM on Instagram, F1_gamer_5. Oh my god, Isaac Hadjar missed his braking point, didn't see anyone from the spray, and then crashed into the back of one of the drivers ahead of him. I don't know who it even was. You can barely barely tell. I might have been Alonso, but I have no idea. He said, I didn't see him. He appeared out of nowhere. Oh my God, man. Yeah, visibility super duper low, and and to type into chat, folks, you have to hit the subscribe button for 1 minute. Once you've subscribed, you can type F1 Live. Oh, it was Antonelli. He hit Antonelli. It wasn't anyone else that he hit. It wasn't Aston Martin or anything. He hit Antonelli. But yeah, folks, if you want to get Surfshark VPN and you don't want to wait for the giveaway, what you do is you search, you click the link in the description, get Surfshark VPN, then you join an Austrian VPN server. You go onto Servers TV, you search on Google Servers TV, you make an account, you log in, and that's it, job done. You can watch Formula 1 for free. The only thing you have to pay for is Surfshark VPN. So go ahead and check that one out. We've got about 400, 500 people using it right now on the channel, so it definitely does work. And if it doesn't work for whatever reason, you can always get a refund. But safety car is still out, folks, and we have got also, if you have typed F1 Live once, you're already entered into the giveaway. Doing it multiple times will in fact get you disqualified from the giveaway. So yeah, it's up to you guys. Okay. Yeah, the incident between Hadjar and Antonelli has been noted. I don't think Hadjar's going to get a penalty for that. Like, let's be totally real here. Isaac Hadjar barely saw him coming. You can't give him a penalty for something that he didn't even see happen. So, no, I don't expect that Hadjar will be getting any penalty points or any sort of grid penalty. And that's about it. Oh my God, it looks like we've got 47,000 people. Everyone watching the stream is typing F1 Live. Absolutely wild. Okay, also, do let me know who is your driver of the day, folks. Who is your driver of the day? For me, look at this. Stroll up 13 positions. Hülkenberg up 14. I'm going to say Nico Hülkenberg is my driver of the day. Yeah, for certain. There's no other way to put it. He's done an absolutely sensational job. We've got a tractor out on the circuit at Copse Corner picking up Isaac Hadjar, but yeah, full safety car is out, and yeah, it could be Stroll, it could be Hülkenberg, but surely no one else, right? They're up 13 or 14 positions. Stroll, I mean, Aston Martin, a sensational strategy from them, pitting onto the soft tyres for 4 laps. Those were the only 4 laps where the soft tyres were quicker than the inters, and they pitted Stroll onto them. He gained an absolute metric ton of lap time, and then came back onto the intermediate tyres when the rains began to fall, and he's up into 4th place. Incredible. I mean, Gasly as well, maybe. Yeah, Gasly, of course, he had a brilliant qualifying yesterday, so he started in 8th place, but he's been doing sensationally. Stroll, Hülkenberg, or Gasly. If it's anyone else, I disagree. Miro, thanks for the donation. I think there's going to be 5 to 7 DNFs. Mine's on Stroll. Well, we've already had 4 DNFs, so you're 1, 2, 3 more DNFs definitely possible. And yeah, okay. Okay. Also, folks, if you are watching the stream over on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen, then what I would like to let you guys know is this stream has actually been stolen. Someone else has taken my stream off YouTube. We're the biggest live stream on YouTube. Someone's taken it and just put it up on TikTok. So if you're watching Black Box Gaming or whoever it is on TikTok, please be sure to come over to YouTube, search F1 Gamer, and it will be I'll be the first stream that pops up, and then you can watch the coverage with, well, 47,000 more people rather than, I think, whatever the 500 or so that are watching on TikTok. So please be sure to come along and watch on YouTube. It very much is appreciated. In fact, I might actually just stick that up here because we've had drivers DNF. We don't really need this space on the track, any space on the data anymore. So I can pop that there and just leave it up for now. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know why this guy, I've emailed him, he's even read my email and has just totally ignored me. But yeah, if you're watching on TikTok, just come over to YouTube. And that's about it. So here we go. Oh, Antonelli into the pits. Antonelli is diving into the pit lane. What tyres is it going to be for Kimi Antonelli? He's done 11 laps on inters, and he comes out on another set of intermediate tyres. It looks like he just wants a fresh set, really. With 21, we're on lap number 21 of 52. So yeah, not too far away. Well, we've still got 32 laps of racing left, really. And Antonelli, how many sets of inters has he used? Oh, Antonelli has used 3 sets of intermediate tyres. You only get 3 sets of inters, and Antonelli is now on his 3rd one. With 32 laps of racing left to go, that is a bold choice. Denny, thanks for the donation. BM might finally win a race at this rate. BM? Who is BM? Wait, am I being stupid? Who's BM? Or are you talking about, Bernd Mailander, the safety car driver? Okay, yeah. So, yeah, maybe he could be driver of the day, actually. Bernd Mailander, driving behind the safety car, he could definitely get driver of the day for sure. Oh, interesting. Ocon comes over the race, says clever from the Mercedes team, hot tyres for the restart. So pretty good thinking there from Antonelli. He's switched on to a set of inters. He's right at the back of the pack regardless. He was going to be at the back anyway. But now a warm set of intermediate tyres. And I think they're expecting the restart now. So around about this time is when they say the safety car's coming in this lap. And that is exactly what happens. The race control have announced safety car is in this lap, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going racing once again. Wait, what? Piastri has lost the lead to Verstappen. They've swapped around. What's going on here? Piastri going slowly. Has Piastri got an issue? Let's have a look at the radio structure. It's live. I think Piastri's got an issue with this car. We've had issues for the Mercedes power unit so much. Whatever issue it was, it's just been resolved. Verstappen, though, he did momentarily overtake Piastri, so I don't know if that's going to be a penalty going towards Max Verstappen or what's going to happen with that. It could be potential issues for Piastri. Verstappen's GPS is... Oh, Verstappen spun! Verstappen has spun going towards Vale, and he's down in 9th position. He was fighting for the championship. He had a great lap yesterday. He spins, and he is down in 10th place. I thought his GPS has broken for a second, but no, Verstappen spun on the safety car restart. The tyres were too cold, and he's out in 10th place. Oh my goodness me. Lance Stroll's on a podium. Nico Hulkenberg is 1 position away from a podium here, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute carnage and chaos here in Silverstone. And the safety car infringement has been noted between Piastri and Verstappen, and Verstappen loses the place to Albon as well. Oh my god. Norris is 3 seconds off the back of Piastri. We'll keep an eye. Oh, yellow flag again. No. Oh my god. If there's another safety car. No, Behrman's just spun, but he's kept it on the track, and we're continuing on. Okay. Phew. For a second there, I was like, we're going to get another safety car. Not again. But yeah, Behrman now down in dead last. All right, Verstappen has got 31 laps now. If he wants to score if he wants to salvage this race, potentially salvage his championship, what he's got to do is put out a drive of his lifetime. This Red Bull is running the lowest downforce setup out of any car on the grid this weekend, and Max Verstappen has been struggling so far in the first half, but he's got to flick that switch in his brain. He locks up, goes straight on. What does he say over the radio? Well, mate, he suddenly just slows down again. So Verstappen saying that Piastri sort of brake-checked him. Not really brake-checked him, because obviously he wasn't right in front of him. And then Verstappen spun on the exit of Stowe. But yeah, Verstappen, he's got everything to do now if he wants to recover this race. He started, we've seen it happen before. He started the race in 17th place in Brazil last year, gained a metric ton of positions, set 17 fastest laps in the process, and went on to win. But that doesn't look like the same Max Verstappen that we've got here today. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, it doesn't seem like the same Max Verstappen. It doesn't seem like the same Red Bull either. But Stroll is set for a podium. The gap between Stroll and Hulkenberg, 1 second as of this moment. And Nico Hulkenberg is in 4th place right now. Gasly in 5th. 30 laps left to go of this race. We haven't even approached the halfway point. There has been so much chaos, so many safety cars. And is that Piastri under investigation here? Oh, it's car number 81 under investigation for a safety car infringement. Piastri could get a penalty for driving too slowly and braking erratically. Well, we'll have to see what the FIA have to say about that one. But Piastri currently a 3.6 second lead over Norris. If he has a 5 second penalty coming his way, he's going to have to pick up the pace. Okay, now all eyes now on slightly further back the field. What can Verstappen do? Is he just going to be stuck behind Carlos Sainz? He's got to use every single pace that he can. Mirko, thanks for the donation. Absolute Cinema. I think you donated that a moment earlier as well. Thank you everyone for all of the donations. We got 50,000 people watching the live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And what a race that we've got on our hands here. Antonelli has a spin, goes right to the back of the pack, and has lost a load of lap time. Hamilton getting super close to Pierre Gasly here. Hamilton is so good in wet conditions, especially at Silverstone, and can he get this overtake done on the Frenchman? He has got some pretty good traction coming out of these next couple of corners, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. All right, Hulkenberg, though, is doing his best. He is right on Stroll's tail. Why is Norris so slow? I don't know, man. The gap has been staying at 3 seconds. It's extended a little bit up to 3.3 now, but Piastri is comfortably up in the lead, and Norris, the problem is spray and visibility. If he closes up that 3 second gap, he's not going to have any visibility. He misses his reference points, he misses his braking points, and then he loses lap time. So that is one of the big problems that we've got. Russell right on the tail of Lewis Hamilton, a three-way fight for 5th position. Hamilton runs wide. Russell gets a really good run out down the old start-finish straight, but Hamilton thankfully has got the slipstream from Pierre Gasly to hold him off. Antonelli retired. Antonelli's just come into the pits now after a spin. He's out of the race. Unfortunate for Kimi Antonelli. Apologies here for the lag, folks. Cannot do anything about it. But Russell gets ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Sensational move on the exit of Copse corner. Russell gets fantastic traction. Hamilton not so much. And Russell up into 6th position. I've got overtaking his former teammate up in 6th place. All right. Nico Hulkenberg. I must say, Hulkenberg's doing a sensational job. There is little to no visibility out on the circuit right now, and Hulkenberg still managing to hold it within 1 second. A 10-second time penalty, ladies and gentlemen. 10 seconds has been given to Oscar Piastri for the safety car infringement, for braking erratically under the safety car, and he's only got a 3-second lead to Lando Norris. That's why Norris hasn't been pushing, I'm guessing, because he knew a penalty was coming to his teammate. And yeah, Piastri may be first place on the circuit right now. He's shaking his head as he goes down the Wellington Straight. He's just been told over the radio clearly, and he is not happy about that one. Okay, Hamilton comes over the radio. This car's hard to drive, mate. It's snappy like crazy, and I don't know what to tell you, Lewis. The Ferrari's always like that. Any car is like that in wet conditions, but the Ferrari especially slow. And I've honestly got to tell you, it must be the water. Hulkenberg podium, let's go. Well, Hulkenberg's doing a fantastic job keeping Lance Stroll honest, and you need one tiny mistake, and I genuinely mean tiny mistake. Let's say on the exit of Copse corner, tiny mistake from Stroll, Hulkenberg catches up through Maggots and Beckett's, slipstream down the hanger straight into Stowe, job done. Like, we've got 28 laps, 16 corners. That's around 16 corners every single lap. What's that, like 400 corners for someone to make a mistake at and someone to get an overtake done? Surely Hulkenberg can get a podium. All right. Yeah, here we are, approaching the halfway point of this race. Lap number 25 of 52. Sonoda and Behrman are under investigation for causing a collision, but yeah, they're a little bit too far back in 14th and 15th place for it to really matter that much. Right now, everyone is lapping in the 1 minute 44s, apart from Stroll, Hulkenberg, Norris, and Piastri. Piastri, a 141.5. He's brought that gap up by a full second on that previous lap. He knows that he's got the penalty, and now he's trying to drive off into the sunset, or shall we say drive off into the thunderstorm, because he's got to extend this gap out to his teammates as much as he humanly possibly can. What happened to Max? Max spun on the exit of Stowe on the safety car restart. Piastri braked erratically, and Max Verstappen had to drive super slow. He was like, what's Piastri doing here? Piastri got a 10-second time penalty for that. Verstappen, as a consequence, drove super duper slowly. Then, on the exit of Stowe, on the safety car restart, which was about 300 meters after Piastri broke erratically, Verstappen had no tyre temperature because he was driving slowly, and he loses the rear. Absolute madness. It's not a 10-second stop go, it's just a 10-second time penalty. But regardless, that's it's a pretty lengthy penalty, to be honest, when the gap between the two drivers is four seconds. Like, yeah. What's the weather like? It's not raining anymore, but the circuit is totally soaked. Yeah, that is the best way to describe it. All right, Russell now right on the back of Pierre Gasly. Gasly is doing some sensational driving. Russell and Hamilton have been squabbling away, trying to overtake him. And in fact, Gasly has basically just let the other two drivers battle away, and he himself is keeping that fifth position. Hamilton looks to the inside of George Russell. Can he brake late enough into Stowe corner? Yes, he can. What a move by Lewis Hamilton. He doesn't leave any space on the outside. Can Russell send one down the inside for Vale? No, he can't. He's not laid enough on the brakes. And Hamilton up into sixth position ahead of his former teammate. Russell and Hamilton squabbling away. And yeah, interesting. And Gasly keeps the fifth position. They come over the radio to Lando Norris to tell him Piastri has a 10-second time penalty, so that means we will not follow him into the pit lane. So they can't do a double stack because obviously Piastri is going to be sat there for 10 whole seconds, and yeah, they're going to have to pick a driver in a situation. If they need to come onto the slicks, they're going to have to pick which driver comes in first. All right. When was Oscar's service penalty? When he comes into the pits. A 10-second time penalty for Yuki Tsunoda as well for causing a collision between himself and Kimi Antonelli. Felix, thanks for the $5 donation or 5 Swiss franc donation. Must be the water. Indeed it must. And some really good battling going out on the circuit between Hamilton and Russell. And Charles Leclerc, unfortunately, down in 12th position. Verstappen as well, no progress has been made. You know, you would have expected Verstappen to make some progress up the field, but absolutely nothing. The man who set pole position by just with an incredible lap, an absolutely alien lap, is stuck down in 10th place now with a low downforce setup here in wet conditions. Okay. Yeah, we've got 50,000 people watching the stream here, folks. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. It very much is appreciated. Also, folks, if you do want to watch the coverage using Surfshark VPN, you can watch it for free if you have Surfshark, and it's only $2 a month for Surfshark regardless, but you get Surfshark VPN, go into, using the link in the description, you join an Austrian VPN server, and once you've done that, you go onto Service TV, you Google Service TV, make an account, log in, you can watch the cars go around the circuit, you can watch the helmet cams, you can see all of the spray, and it is absolutely incredible. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. There's a link in the description. All right. Yeah, Hamilton right on Gasly's tail. Russell drops back, in fact, a little bit. Russell dropping off the back. And Hülkenberg as well drops a little bit off the back of Stroll. 1.7 seconds is the gap between Hülkenberg and Stroll. And Stroll doing a good job there, up in third place. Also, folks, I will be doing a Surfshark giveaway if we hit 181k subs today, and we're only 41 subscribers away now. So if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. And just to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is type F1 Live into the chat one time and you get entered into the giveaway. Verstappen comes over the radio saying, I'm so slow, I can't even keep up with these guys, I have no grip. And what can I tell you, Max? A low downforce setup is good in dry conditions, not so good in wet. Don Jones, thanks for the $3 donation. Very much is appreciated. And wow, we've got a load of donations coming through. And yeah, Tsunoda just tapped, I think that was Behrman or Ocon, one of the two drivers. Yeah, it was Behrman. And yeah, he got a 10-second time penalty for that. That was fair enough for Yuki Tsunoda. He's down in dead last. And yeah, now we've got 5 drivers that have retired from this race. Does Max still have a chance to win? Well, you can decide that for yourselves, but he's coming over the radio saying, I'm too slow, I can't overtake Sainz. It's not a good sign for trying to catch up to Piastri and Norris, who are 30 seconds ahead of him. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Okay, here we go then. 49,000 people watching the live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We are the biggest live stream on YouTube right now. Very much is appreciated, everyone tuning in. Hope to see you guys for the next couple of Grand Prix out in Belgium and in Hungary and such. But yeah, I don't think anything can really top this one. This one might be the best race of the season. So much chaos, so much action. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. Okay, Right, up at the front then. Piastri still holding Lando Norris honest to 36. Well, Norris holding Piastri honest, actually. 3.6 seconds is the gap, and Piastri unable to extend this out any further. I don't know if he's not pushing. I don't know if he's just playing it safe and is going to push in the final stint when the circuit sort of dries up a little bit more. But yeah, he is. He's holding on to that 3.7 second gap, but he's got a 10-second time penalty his way. Okay, yeah, everyone sort of spread themselves out now, to be honest. The spray becoming a less of an issue. The circuit is really drying up. 20 laps left of the race. We could see the final 10 laps potentially, maybe final 5 laps, be slick tyre conditions. Hamilton now trying to get ahead of Pierre Gasly, using a different racing line. Down the inside of Verly, goes so late on the brakes. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Pierre Gasly tries to go for the switchback. He can't get past Lewis Hamilton, and a sensational move from the Brit up to P5, and Hamilton has got 11 podiums in a row here at Silverstone, right from 2014 to 2025. He has got 2024, sorry. He has got 11 podiums at the British Grand Prix in a row. Not a single Grand Prix has gone by, and Hamilton hasn't been on the podium at Silverstone. And he's got Hülkenberg and Stroll to overtake to make that happen. Now, as much as I would like to see Hamilton continue that record, Hamilton's got so many podiums. Like, surely Hülkenberg can get one instead. Like, the man is driving incredibly in a Kick Sauber that has no pace, can most accurately be described as a green tractor, will accelerate from 0 to 200 kilometers per hour in about 3 business days, and the man's still up in 4th place. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit too biased here for Nico Hülkenberg, but, you know, you can't hate the guy, really. He hasn't scored a podium, and he started, 300 or so Formula 1 races? Yeah. But, you know, it'd be great if Hamilton can continue on his record. That's the longest ever streak as well. I'd like to point out Hamilton has got the record for the most number of consecutive podiums at a single Grand Prix circuit, most number of wins at a single Grand Prix circuit. I mean, the man should be called Lewis record-breaking Hamilton. Like, yeah, so many records to his name. George Russell now has found a little bit more pace. The Hamilton's got past Gasly. Now Russell's going to do his best to get past Gasly. Seems like Gasly's pace is dropping off a little bit. The Alpine not so great on his tyres compared to the Ferraris and the Mercs. So who knows? He's got to deserve a hammer time as Hamilton. Yeah, I mean, Hamilton is going to be pressing K1 to overtake, and he's going to be pressing, he's going to be getting hammer time being told over into the radio as well. But, Hülkenberg's closing up to Stroll here. Stroll made a little bit of a mistake going through the first sector. Hülkenberg is pushing him through. Yeah, I mean, I equally would love to see Hamilton or Hülkenberg on the podium. Maybe not equally. Maybe I prefer Hülkenberg just because of the fact that he's never scored one before. But rather, either way, the racing that we've had is fantastic. You can't really complain. 22 laps left of this race, and up in the lead, we have got the 2 McLarens. So McLaren 1-2. Look at the Constructors' Championship. I'm going to put the Constructors' Championship up here for a moment. They've got more than... If the positions stay the way that they are, they're going to have more than double the points that Ferrari and Mercedes currently have. Just huge amounts of points scored for the McLaren crew, and yeah, it's absolutely wild here. Okay. Hülkenberg is he's on the tail of Stroll here. What can he do? He looks pretty confident in the car as well. It seems like he's got a reasonable amount of grip as he makes his way through these corners. Just for anyone looking for a sort of a summary of what happened so far, absolute chaos. We had Colapinto, he couldn't start the race. Lawson crashed out opening lap. Bortoletto crashed on his own at lap number 2. Turn number 2. Hadjar locked up going into Copse, crashed into Antonelli, DNF'd himself from the race. Antonelli also DNF'd from the race, I think because of too much damage or something. And yeah, we've had about 4 safety cars or something. I have no idea. Just too many safety cars. Verstappen spun on one of the safety car restarts. That's why he's down in 10th position. Piastri's got a 10-second time penalty to his name for a safety car infringement, and we've got a 10-second time penalty for Tsunoda as well for causing a collision. Okay, you come over the radio to Stroll's track is starting to dry up. Temps are now coming into play. So yeah, the tire temperatures are coming up. Now the dry conditions are coming into action. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Hulkenberg? Is it going to be Stroll? Which one of them is going to get that podium? And Hamilton is fast approaching. The gap between Piastri and Norris has reduced suddenly. I don't know if Piastri made a mistake on the previous lap or something, but the gap now down to 2.5 seconds, and Lando Norris has got Piastri in his sights. Well, not really. He's got spray from Oscar Piastri in his sights, but regardless, he's chasing down his teammate, and it's drying very slowly, says Piastri over the radio. Still not close to slicks. Stroll and Hulkenberg haven't pitted, as you can see that. I mean, you can see Stroll did do one pit stop onto the softs, and then he came onto the inters after 4 laps. Hulkenberg has just done one pit stop, and he's out on a set of inters. All right. Oh my God, going into Stowe, Hulkenberg is really close. 0.3 of a second, 0.4 of a second. The closest Hulkenberg has been up until this point, and oh my goodness me. The drivers lose 20 seconds coming into the pit lane. 20 full seconds the drivers lose. They lose 9 seconds if they pit under the safety car or the virtual safety car. But yeah, thank you for the donation. It's just scrolled past, actually. Bite, thanks for the donation. Very much is appreciated. And yeah, let's wait and see. Hulkenberg is closing in, but Hamilton's also closing in. A 3-way fight for 3rd position at the Silverstone Grand Prix. 20 laps left to go. This is Formula 1, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Russell's right on the back of Gasly, practically pushing him through the corners now, and the circuit now starting to dry up. Stroll weaving to the left and the right, trying to cool down his inters, also trying to give Nico Hulkenberg as a little of a slipstream as he possibly can, and a visor tear off there for George Russell, trying to get as much visibility as he possibly can. The circuit, the track and the conditions sort of starting to brighten up a little bit. Track temperature coming into play, 23.5 degrees as of right now. Okay, yeah, I mean, here comes Lewis. Are we going to have a through goes Hamilton moment again? Is he going to get both Stroll and Hulkenberg in one move? That would be wild, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's see. Also, folks, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We're getting very close to 181k subscribers. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. Hopefully you can hit 181k, and then I'll do a Surfshark giveaway as well. Purple in the final sector for Lando Norris. He's closing in Oscar Piastri. He doesn't want this win based off the penalty. He wants it based off on-track performance, because, you know, sooner or later this championship is going to become a mental game as well. And if Norris can prove to Piastri, oh yes, in the wet conditions, I can still overtake you, then that's going to give him a little bit of an extra edge. So, you know, Norris is doing his best to catch up to Piastri, and, you know, they're going to start playing mental games now, and it's going to turn into a Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton situation. It hasn't just yet, but it will probably in the next couple of races as the end of the season approaches. All right, here comes Hulkenberg, 0.4 of a second is a gap, 4.5 cents is a gap, and Hamilton 1.2 seconds back. Stroll is just backing them up. Hamilton catching up very, very quickly, and yeah, the circuit's drying up, but not quick enough just yet, and a 3-way fight for 3rd place. Okie dokes. Yeah. Yeah, Stroll's leading a little bit of a train, but the thing is, there's no DRS as of right now. If DRS was to be enabled, Stroll would probably get overtaken pretty quick from Hulkenberg. But DRS, you know, the fact that there is no DRS is saving him as of right now. But the thing is, oh, as I say that DRS is enabled, does he get it through the next detection point? Oh, he doesn't. They say normal grip conditions through the next DRS detection point. They do. Hulkenberg gets DRS. The gap is 0.4 of a second. He opens the DRS flap. They head down the hangar straight. 320 kilometers per hour is the top speed. What's it going to be? Hulkenberg sends one to the inside. He's in 3rd position. Absolutely sensational from Nico Hulkenberg. He's up in 3rd place. Let's just hope it stays this way. And Stroll, come on, Stroll, you can defend against Lewis, because Nico Hulkenberg, it's been such a long time in Formula 1. He's been trying year after year after year, never giving up for this podium. And here he finds himself in 3rd position. And Stroll's doing a good defensive job here. I mean, he's not sort of... as I say that, Hamilton overtakes Ant Stroll. But who's gonna have the DRS? Is it gonna be Hamilton or is it gonna be Stroll? It's Hamilton. Hamilton has the DRS. Okay, well it's a straight fight now, ladies and gentlemen. Nico Hülkenberg in the Kick Sauber, the green tractor himself, versus the Ferrari. Who is it going to be? Yeah, okay. Well, honestly, if you're watching the stream now, we've got 53,000 people watching the stream. You cannot leave. You have to wait and find out what happens. Does Nico Hülkenberg score his first ever Formula 1 podium? Stroll has given him a 2-second lead to deal with. 18 laps remain of this race. Max Verstappen still struggling in his car. He's just got ahead of Sainz, but he's in 9th position and is only going to be scoring 2 points this race, whereas his rivals, Piastri and Norris, are going to be scoring 25 and 18 points respectively. Oh my goodness me, what a race this has turned out to be. Thank you, Silverstone. Thank you, the British Grand Prix. Thank you, the weather as well. Okay, 17 laps left of this race, and Oscar Piastri is in the lead with Lando Norris 2.2 seconds behind him. 17 laps remain of this race. We could switch on to slicks at some point. The circuit is Hamilton comes over the radio saying, yeah, the track's pretty decent. It's starting to dry up a little bit. So the drivers are thinking now, oh, what time? When should we pit? When is it time to put on the slick tires? If Ferrari messes up, if Kick Sauber messes up, they could be losing a podium like that immediately, a click of a finger, and then they'll be out of the podiums, they'll be out of the points if they pit at the wrong time. So it is of utmost importance to come into the pits at the correct time. By traditional Formula 1 rules, what we have is the drivers, once the lap times reduce more than 12%. So the typical lap time around Silverstone is a 1 minute 26. So that is what, 86 seconds? So once we are more than 12% of that lap time, so 96 seconds, that is a 1 minute, what's that? A 1 minute 36. So once we dip below the 136s, that's when traditional Formula 1 wisdom says it's time to come into the pits for slicks. Currently we're at the 141s, so we'll have to keep our eyes peeled. But it should be around about that time, like 136s, 137s. That's when the transition period is. But the transition period doesn't matter anymore. Hülkenberg and Lewis Hamilton straight fight for third place, and Hamilton gets DRS coming down the hangar straight. Hülkenberg has got him in his mirrors. He's got him in his sights. He's weaving to the left and right. He's getting Hamilton out of his slipstream as much as he possibly can. And yeah, he fights. He lives to fight another day. He makes it through the hangar straight with a 9/10 of a second lead. Lando Norris to the fastest lap of the race, a 1:40.7. We've still got 2 or 3 seconds worth of lap time left to go down. Then once we lose those 2 or 3 seconds, then it's time for the slick tires. Okay, we've got 54,000 people watching the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. I mean, I'm loving commentating this Grand Prix. It's absolutely incredible to see so many people enjoying the coverage here. I mean, what is this? 54,000 people watching the stream. That's an entire football stadium. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're not too far from our subscriber target. We're not too far from the like target either. Be sure to hit the like button. But look at this, folks. Look over here. We are getting everyone improving. Everyone setting green lap times. Why is that? Because the track is getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and that means the slick tires are approaching, and they are approaching fast. When is it going to be? Are Ferrari going to mess up the strategy? Are they going to keep Lewis Hamilton out for too long? I don't think Hamilton's going to take any of Ferrari's nonsense today. Hamilton will come over the radio fair and square and say, I am coming into the pits, you better have the tires ready, otherwise I'm going to leave the team. Obviously he's not going to leave the team, but that's the sort of commitment that he's going to be coming over the radio with, because he knows what's best. He's the one driving around the circuit with about 10-15 years of Formula 1 experience underneath him. Okay, the McLaren's continuing on. Both drivers don't stay in the pits. Look at this advantage that they've got. 30-second advantage for the McLaren cars. Fastest lap of the race from Piastri, half a second quicker than Norris on this occasion. They go down the hangar straight again. Lewis Hamilton too far back. Nico Hülkenberg holds on to this third place, but as the drier conditions come in, the Ferrari gets slightly quicker, and we just don't know what's going to happen. Will Hülkenberg be able to hold on? Will Hamilton get past? Ferrari have got a pretty high downforce setup. Out of all of the teams, I think out of all of the top teams, it was either McLaren or Ferrari with similar levels of downforce. So yeah, we're going to see what happens there and who will be able to make the overtake. But Fernando Alonso dives into the pits. He's coming in a little bit early. Russell comes over the radio saying, depends how brave you want to be. We are running P7. And it looks like Fernando Alonso comes in for a set of slick tyres. He's like, right, I'm going to go right to the end of the race. I've got nothing to lose here. George Russell, however, playing it a little bit more cautious. He's stuck behind Gasly, still unable to overtake. Verstappen now catching up to George Russell. He's still 3 seconds back, but he's got some work to do. Hamilton right on Hulkenberg's tail now. He loses a huge chunk of time going through Brooklyn and Luffield, and Hulkenberg also snapping the rear a little bit, but going down the old start-finish straight, the gap is 0.9 of a second. And well, we'll wait and see. The dirty air obviously isn't going to help Hamilton Hamilton through the next couple of corners, but he will have the slipstream on his side. 15 laps till the end of this race. Oh, Hamilton's got a run. Hamilton has got... Actually, never mind. Hamilton's lost the run. He had a run going through Maggots and Beckett, so he lost a huge chunk of time. He is continuing on. Russell says, I think we go for it. So it looks like Russell's coming into the pits here. Someone's going to have to risk it. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Ferraris that come in to try and undercut Nico Hulkenberg? Are they going to overtake him on the circuit? Fastest lap of the race, Lando Norris, 139s, folks. The cutoff, as I said earlier, 136s, 137s. That's what we're looking at. The McLarens have now reached the 139s. So we're not too far off that range. Norris also closing up on Oscar Piastri. 1.7 seconds is the gap. Norris has got so much more experience with racing in the wet, given that he's from the UK. Piastri's from Australia, where it's dry pretty much. Well, it's not dry all of the time, but you get my point. It's a lot hotter and a lot less rainy than the UK. Hamilton, 1.1 seconds back. He makes another mistake, and Hulkenberg is driving sensationally. He's driving for his life for this one. 14 laps left, of this race, and Hulkenberg still in third place. Bernardo Goat, you're an amazing commentator. Keep it up. And Lando for the win. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Lando can get the win. Of course, Piastri's got a 10-second time penalty, which is really going to sort of ruin his chances. And Norris is going to probably take this one after the pits, but we'll see how it works out. All right. Alonso. Okay, Alonso's the only driver out on slicks. Let's have a look at his sector times. 57 seconds in the first sector. Absolutely not quick enough. The middle sector, 49 seconds. So 8 seconds slower in the middle sector. Final sector, he is 2 seconds slower. So, yeah, the first sector, he's lost 20 seconds worth of lap time in the first sector as Fernando Alonso by coming into the pits. George Russell does the exact same thing. They are losing huge amounts of lap time because they've come into the pits. I don't know. Oh, no, sorry. Apologies, correction. That was when they did their pit stop. So after the pit stop, Alonso, 34 seconds. So he's only 3 seconds slower in the first sector. I think, 4 seconds slower in the second sector and 3 seconds slower in the third sector. So it's still not the cutoff point, folks. It's still not the cutoff point. A couple more laps, a couple more minutes. Last Plagueis Hunter, thanks for the €5 donation. Very much is appreciated. And we are on lap number 40 of 52. I've just got a message from my friend saying nice clean racing from today. Clearly we've had loads of clean racing, loads of drivers crash into each other, and lots of spins as well. It's been a pretty eventful race, to say the least. Lap number 40 of 52, and Nico Hulkenberg still in third, and the gap up to 1.7 seconds, folks. Russell had a huge spin, and he manages to keep it going, though. The hard tyres were not the correct choice. I don't know why he picked the hards. What? That makes no sense. There's only 13 laps after the race. The hard tyres have the least grip out of every tyre available, and he's out. He has a set of mediums to use, and yet he's not using them. Mercedes, what are you doing? Like, this makes no sense. You probably could have put softs on and go to the end of the race. I mean, track temperature is 24 degrees Celsius, so the soft tyres probably would have lasted as well. But Russell now down in 14th. Both slick tyre runners, they risked it way too early, and they're down in dead last. Okay, Norris and Piastri now, they're both setting fastest lap of the race. 139s still from them. 12 laps left to go, and Nico Hulkenberg is holding it in third place, and he is still 2 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Oh my god. 57,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And this race has been so eventful. And Nico Hülkenberg could be on for his first podium in Formula One history. I do not want to jinx it, but this is sensational to say the least. Okay. Lap number 41 of 52, 12 laps remain, and the McLarens are 30 seconds in the lead of this race. Max Verstappen still stuck behind Pierre Gasly. He's going to try and overtake Gasly, but Gasly has been doing some amazing oh my god, Verstappen down the inside at the loop. What a move. Gasly didn't even see him coming. Gasly, I was about to say, Gasly has been doing amazing defensive driving for the entire race, holding off Russell and Hamilton and everyone. Verstappen catches him napping at a corner that he was not expecting an overtake at, and Verstappen up into 6th. Gasly, unfortunately, loses that place down into 7th position. There's an investigation going on between Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, both former teammates. Looks like they had some sort of collision, but it's no further investigation between those two drivers. It was under investigation, and now no further. It's been reviewed, and no further investigation. Gap up at the front, 1.4 seconds is the gap between Piastri and Norris. And Hülkenberg is pulling away, ladies and gentlemen. He's pulling away from Lewis Hamilton. And 11 laps after this race. We've got 58,000 people tuning into the live stream. The record that we've ever had on a live stream before is 61,000. I think we might beat it, folks. Someone's into the pits. Is this Hamilton or is this Leclerc? Hamilton dives into the pit lane. The lap times are still in the 1:39s. But for whatever reason, he thinks he can make the slick tyres work. He thinks he's going to get an advantage. Let's see what his first sector times are like. But Nico Hülkenberg continues on. This could be it. This could be for the podium. And we got a bunch of drivers into the pits. Stroll into the pits. Verstappen, Gasly, everyone. Well, half the grid's coming into the pits now. Is it now the best time to switch over to tyres? It's a slow pit stop for Verstappen. Verstappen is going to be fuming. He's had a terrible race so far, and another slow pit stop to go with it. He loses all of the hard work that he did to overtake Pierre Gasly, and Gasly's out ahead of him, I think. Correction. It looks like Gasly had a slow stop as well. All right. So Verstappen, Hamilton out in 4th place. 11 laps after this race. Is Hülkenberg just going to stick it out on the inter-slick tyres? Hamilton weaving left, right, getting all of the tyre temperature that he possibly can. He's behind Charles Leclerc. That'll probably help him out. It'll give him a tow down the next straight. But let's look at the grip levels here. The grip levels is the most important. Is Hülkenberg going to come into the pits? Maybe over the radio they've said to come into the pits, but I guess just to play it safe, you get Hülkenberg into the pits as well. Oh, Hamilton went deep. Hamilton went deep on turn number 3 as soon as he came out of the pits. And yeah, that's lost him a bunch of lap time. So as long as there's not a slow stop for the Kick Sauber team, it should be okay. So here comes Nico Hülkenberg. Does he dive into the pit lane? Yes, he does. Hülkenberg does dive into the pits. Okay. Fernando Alonso, purple in the middle sector. He's got his tyres switched on, hasn't he? The slick tyres, now is the time to put them on. It doesn't matter for Piastri and Norris. Let's be honest. They are, 30 seconds in the lead of this race? They could drive in reverse for the last lap and still win the race, to be honest. But all eyes, Nico Hülkenberg versus Lewis Hamilton. You lose 20 seconds in the pit lane. Here is Nico Hülkenberg. A quick pit stop for him. It's very, very smooth now. Very smooth. You do not want to bin this one. Leclerc's into the pit. Purple first sector. Oh yeah, I already said. Purple first sector for Alonso. And we've got the rest of the drivers coming into the pit lane as well. And look at that gap, ladies and gentlemen. Hülkenberg is 5, 6, 7 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He's in 3rd place and he has only got 10 laps left to go. Oh my god. All right. I think Piastri's going to come into the pits, and then they're going to serve the 10-second time penalty for Piastri. He's going to, and then he's going to come out in 2nd place. Norris will come in on the next lap, and he'll take the race win, unless anything strange happens. Because, they could very, very easily spin. Hamilton, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid, amazing in wet conditions. He spun, went super deep into turn number 2, lost a whole bunch of lap time. I mean, look at that, lost 5, 6 seconds of lap time there compared to Hulk. And, yeah, Lando Norris could very easily do the same. But Piastri has served his penalty, so no more penalties now till the end of the race. Have we got a yellow flag, or was that just a momentary thing? Oh, no, yellow flag. Who is that? That is someone going slowly. Ocon is going slowly. Is that a puncture for Ocon, or can he continue on? He can continue on. Okay. All right, no issues there. Fernando Alonso, another purple first sector. He's got his tyres switched on. He's about to overtake George Russell through Copse Corner. He backs out of that one. It's a little bit too risky to pull that one off. But yeah, really good driving from Alonso. And in the latter stages of this race, unfortunately, he's out of the points though. Verstappen has recovered himself up into 6th place. There's an 8-second gap to Stroll, so don't think that's going to be closed up any sort of time soon. And Hamilton, Hamilton purple on the previous lap, a 136.9. And he's going to try and catch up to Hülkenberg. Stroll goes purple, in fact 0.3 quicker than Lewis Hamilton. And just a quick review of the chaos that happened down at Brooklyn. The two Hasses spun, they crashed into their teammates. I think it was Ocon went into Behrman. The cardinal sin of Formula 1, do not crash into your teammates, and the Haas team have done just that. Lando Norris is into the pits now, and we have got Stroll with the fastest lap of the race. Again, Stroll momentarily had the fastest lap of the race right at the start. Now he's got the fastest lap of the race again. We've got 60,000 people watching the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We are the biggest live stream currently on YouTube right now, and it's been a pleasure commentating to you guys so far. We have got 8 laps after this race, and Nico Hülkenberg is in 3rd place. All right, I've had a quick sip of water. Yeah, Verstappen over the radio, this car is totally undrivable, complaining as always, but I don't really blame him. The car didn't seem that good on Friday. Somehow he turned it around yesterday, but again, not that great overall. Everyone now out on slick tyres, 8 laps left to go of this race, and the only driver looking to make overtakes here is Fernando Alonso. We'll see what Hülkenberg's lap time is, because he's now coming across the line for the first time after doing a full lap on slick tyres. It's a 135.6 purple from Nico Hülkenberg. Absolutely brilliant. He's on mediums. Hamilton's on softs. What's it going to be for Hamilton? Hamilton goes, 0.8 of a second quicker on the previous lap. He's got 8 laps left to go. If he wants to beat Nico Hülkenberg, he's going to have to chase him down 1 second every single lap. Yeah, oh my god. Oh, a big snap there for Piastri. Piastri loses the car as he's going through Maggots and Beckett's. And, yeah, he's back behind Norris anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But, the gap's only 4 seconds, folks. The gap's only 4 seconds. So, he could theoretically catch up to him with 8 laps left to go. They both obviously got equal cars, but who knows what will happen there. Alonso, fastest lap of the race, up into 8th place for Fernando Alonso. Nice job from him. He's got Gasly up ahead of him, 7 seconds up the road. That one's going to be tough. Okay, but Alonso, purple in the first sector, purple in the second and third sector. This man is a man on a mission. Behrman goes slightly quicker through the first sector. Of course, that's been helped out by a little bit of a tow from George Russell. And Hamilton now quickest in the second sector. Okie dokes. Lap number 46 of 52. 7 laps remain of this race. And we have got... I'll just read out the positions, to be honest, just to calm down a little bit. We've had Norris in first place, Piastri in second, Nico Hülkenberg, fastest lap of the race. Hamilton comes across the line, can't beat it. In fact, on the previous lap, Hülkenberg has got 0.5 second quicker than Lewis Hamilton in the green tractor. Oh my god, it's most definitely driver of the day for Nico Hülkenberg. And then we've got Lewis Hamilton in 4th place, Lance Stroll in 5th, Verstappen in 6th, Gasly in 7th, Alonso in 8th, Albon 9th, Russell 10th, Behrman 11th, Sainz 12th, Ocon 13th, Leclerc 14th, Tsunoda 15th. He's the only driver that has been lapped, is Yuki Tsunoda. Alright, Lando Norris, purple in the middle sector, and Piastri's doing his best to catch up to his teammate, but they're both pushing extremely hard, and Piastri unable to close that gap up. He does gain quite a bit of time in the first sector, but... Yeah, we'll see. Oh, Charles Leclerc, he crashed. Yeah, he went pretty wide. He didn't crash. I've just seen the replay here, and he went deep into Stowe, I think, and lost a whole bunch of lap time. I mean, this is the thing. It's so slippery out there in at Silverstone. We've got 61,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We're so close to our subscriber target as well, folks. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, we've already hit our like target. Maybe we can hit 10,000 likes. Why not, folks? The record for the channel's ever had is 12,000, so potentially we could do that, but it's all up to you guys. How much did you enjoy the coverage? Honestly, I've had an absolute blast commentating this one. And up in the lead of the race, we have got Lando Norris, the British driver, with his own grandstand at this circuit. He is driving absolutely fantastically. The data is frozen once again. I do apologize, folks. Hopefully it will sort itself out ASAP. But yeah, the system's just been really glitchy today with the FIA. I don't know what's up with it. But Norris still in the lead of this race with Piastri in second place, Hulkenberg in third, and Hamilton in fourth. Okay. You're an amazing commentator. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I've been commentating for the past 4 years or 5 years, and honestly, I think this weekend might have been one of my best ever commentaries I've ever done. So, yeah, I'm glad that you guys were able to listen to it. Really, I'm really happy to have done it. Okay, we're getting some drivers with lap times deleted here and there for exceeding track limits, going wide and stuff like that, but nothing all that important. Lando Norris, purple in the first sector, purple in the second sector, and he has got the final corner of Vale and Club left to go. He short shifts through there, and it is our fastest lap of the race there for Lando Norris. Absolutely brilliant. 5 laps remain of this race, and Oscar Piastri has served his 10-second time penalty, but the gap, unfortunately, is 5 seconds. It's going to be unlikely that he closes that one up, unless there's a mistake from Norris, except that he's just been told Strat 7, and Strat 7 is the time to push now strat from the Mercedes engine. So, yeah. I guess we'll wait and see what happens there with Lando Norris. Pierre Gasly in 7th position is trying to re-overtake Max Verstappen. DRS, of course, has been enabled, but he was a little bit too far back at the detection point. And yeah, the collision between Sainz and Leclerc, no further investigation. And oh, they come over the radio to Piastri saying we're not going to do team orders. There's just 5 laps at the end of the race. And yeah, I mean, obviously Piastri is going to feel very hard done by. Like, he, I'm sure, was just, doing his sort of normal safety car procedure, happened to hit the brakes a little bit too hard, gets handed a 10-second time penalty for it, and ends up 6 seconds behind his teammates. So if it wasn't for that penalty, Piastri probably would have won the race. The team, however, not doing any team orders, and I'd just like to show you what the Constructors' Championship would look like, or the Drivers' Championship. So currently, we have got Piastri, let me just pull it up, where is it? Here we go. Let me just reduce this in size. But Piastri, 216 points for him, and Norris, 201 points for him. So the gap's 15 points. That's going to get closed down to 8 points, because Norris is going to gain another 7 points on Piastri this race. But none of that matters. None of it really matters, because everyone is looking at the man, the myth, the legend, Nico Hulkenberg, in 3rd position in a Sauber. What a race. What a race from start to finish. I mean, how many safety cars has it been? Has anyone counted? Because I think there's been 4 or 5 safety cars or something. Yeah, it's been... Oh, there's been loads of VSEs as well, but I don't know. It's absolutely wild. Also, folks, so we've hit our like target and subscriber target. I guess I could put them both up. 182Ks for YouTube for the subscriber target, and 100k not 100k, 10k for the like target. But folks, it's been a pleasure commentating to you guys, and I just hope you guys tune in to the next couple of streams. You don't have to hit the like button or anything, just come along to the next ones. 4 laps remain of this race, and just one final sponsor message from Surfshark VPN. I do have to point this out, but if you guys want to watch Formula 1 for $2 a month, just click the link in the description for Surfshark VPN, join the Austrian VPN server, go onto Google, search Servers TV, make an account, log in, you can watch Formula 1 for free. The only thing you have to pay for is Surfshark VPN. So there's a link in the description. You guys will get some sort of discount. The discount's automatically applied. And that's about it, folks. You've got 300 or 400 people using it right now to watch the stream. It definitely works. So if you guys are interested, check it out. And if it doesn't work for whatever reason, you can always get a refund. And I'd just like to point out one final thing. The commentary is in German. So if you don't understand German, you just mute the coverage. Listen to me instead. This has got to be one of the best races by a landslide. Honestly, I mean, folks, what do you rate this race out of 10? Like, surely it's got to be 10 out of 10. There's no other way. There's no other, maybe even 11 out of 10. 100 out of 10. I don't know. It's got to be a mega one. Alonso, purple in the middle sector. Alonso's still pushing, man. Like, he's got no one ahead of him. He's not catching up to Gasly with only 3 laps left to go, but he is still pushing as hard as he possibly can. Tsunoda is coming up as traffic for Nico Hülkenberg. Tsunoda, don't get in Hülkenberg's way. I pray to you, do not get in Hülkenberg's way. Okay. Yeah, what a race this has been. The rain gods have delivered, the racing gods have delivered. It's been a fantastic race. And, a little bit of an anticlimactic end. We've only got a battle between Behrman and Russell going on for 10th position right now. And to be fair, it's quite a fierce battle. Russell and Behrman battling very harshly for 10th place. That one single constructor's point and one driver's point. But I guess we shall see. Piastri purple in the middle sector and fastest lap overall. So yeah, both drivers just trading fastest laps. And here we are, folks, on the penultimate lap of the race. We have got Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri making their way through the first sector. Nico Hülkenberg just coming through Vale and Club now, ending out his third to last lap, and he's just got the penultimate lap left to go. Jonathan Wheatley is there. He's staring at the data. He's looking at every single sensor, making sure nothing is about to go wrong now. With 2 laps left to go, he's got 11 kilometers left of racing, 32 corners left for Nico Hülkenberg to score a podium. Okay, here we go then. Norris 6 seconds up, and yeah, it's a McLaren 1-2. I mean, the amount of points McLaren are scoring every single weekend is wild. I've got to say. Yeah. Okie dokes. What else have we got going on then? Not all that much. Oh, Stroll's on the back of Verstappen here. Verstappen gets ahead of Stroll. Apologies, folks. I totally missed that. Verstappen up into 5th. Nicely done. Nicely done. We are here now. Norris comes across the line for the final lap of the race. Stroll went ever so slightly wide. Verstappen got ahead of him. And, Verstappen up into 5th. Good points recovery, but not what he needed. He needs He needs to gain points on the McLarens, not do damage limitation. And he's not going to be happy with this. He's not going to be happy with the Red Bull team. He's not going to be happy with himself. And, but here we are on the final lap of the race. Lando Norris has driven beautifully. Of course, he's been helped out by the fact that Piastri did get a time penalty. But regardless, in the wet conditions, he's been driving absolutely fantastically. No mistakes to be seen from the young Brit. This is the first time yesterday, in fact, in his career that he has been out-qualified at a teammate at Silverstone. But he is, he's bounced back with incredible power and incredible determination and grit. He makes his way through Maggots and Beckett's for the final time, down the hanger straight, up to 300 kilometers per hour for the final time this year. He goes past the Lando Norris grandstand on the entry to Stowe. He makes his way towards Vale and Club. He comes out of the final corner. Lando Norris wins the British Grand Prix for the first time in his career. Absolutely sensational drive. Piastri comes home in 2nd place with a McLaren 1-2 to close out the Silverstone GP for them. But none of that matters now. We have got Nico Hülkenberg, 37 years of age. He has won Le Mans 24 hours. He has driven fantastically for half the teams on the grid. He comes out of Vale and Club now. He comes across the line to become a Formula 1 podium sitter. What a drive from Nico Hülkenberg. Simply lovely. Nico Hülkenberg takes a podium. Yes. Hamilton across the line, 4th place for him, Verstappen in 5th, but Nico Hülkenberg scores a podium. Simply lovely. It's been a while since we've had a German on the podium, ever since Sebastian Vettel back in 2022. We've got another German on the podium again today, 3rd place for Hülkenberg. Wow. What a race this has been, folks. Simply lovely, absolutely mind-blowing, and Hülkenberg scores his first podium. That's the highlight of everything, I've got to say. Absolutely wild indeed. All right, folks. This has been, I would possibly say, my best ever stream to date, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to top this. I don't know if we can have a race that's better than this, but what I'm going to do now, I'm going to end the stream. It's going to take you over to the Belgium Grand Prix stream. You can hit the like button on the Belgium Grand Prix stream. That would very much be appreciated. And as a special thank you to all of the channel members, I'm going to be doing a sort of channel members only stream. So if you guys do want to join the channel membership, it's only $1 or €1 or £1 per month. It helps out the channel a lot. I do my best to block adverts here on the streams. So if you guys do want to tune into this sort of race cooldown, then you can join the channel membership. But it has been a pleasure commentating to you guys. I hope to see you in 3 weekends' time for Belgium. We've got a long break till the Belgian Grand Prix, a sprint race for Belgium as well. So really good action expected in Belgium. So I'm going to end the stream now. I'll set up the channel member stream, so just give me a couple of minutes, folks. But it's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Thank you everyone for hitting the subscribe button, the like button. Very much appreciated. Have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you in 3 weeks' time for the Belgian Grand Prix. Wow, what a race. Yeah, I cannot believe what I just witnessed. What did I just see right here? But yeah, I'll end the stream now. If you could hit the like button and the reminder button on the Belgian Grand Prix stream, it really helps out the YouTube algorithm. You know, the channel's on an absolute amazing roll. Maybe we can hit 200k by the halfway point of the season. Well, we're already at the halfway point, maybe by the 2/3 point of the season. So yeah, be sure to hit the like button and the reminder button. And I hope to see you in 3 weekends' times, folks. All right, bye-bye.